because at the end of the day, right, it's all God's plan. You're doing that work. And whoever's accepted of it, whoever's not, bro, you can only just keep walking your best walk, putting your best foot forward every day. As far as what Tay did to Francisco, she has every right to stand.
Ooh, hello guys, welcome to Little Black Butt 91. Listen, we're talking to you guys about Ready to Love. Yes, we're discussing the latest episode that dropped. I can't lie to you, it was a good episode because I think there's a lot to discuss and a lot to break down. If you're joining us here, and I see there's a lot of you guys, almost 200 people in the room, do me a massive favor, you are liking the live before anything. Just to let you know, I see a lot of white names in the chat. It will go members only in the chat in a few minutes' time. But let's jump to this. I think this is a really interesting episode, and I'll tell you why I believe it was interesting. First and foremost, we got to see Cisco, and he had a conversation with Tay about his financial situation, right? And I think this is really important because I think when we're talking about relationships, financials is important. But it's not the financials that is a bad thing. It's the instability that Cisco has at this point. When he started telling his story, I started saying, sir, are you actually ready to date? Because whenever us as men are not in that particular place, bar it, God has told you this is where you should be. I'm gonna be honest with you, you're kind of not in your best form, right? And I'm not saying that, listen, he's broke or anything like that per se. I'm just saying that obviously that the instability that he feels. Now, I really appreciate him sharing those things with Tay and letting her know where he stood and letting her in. My only issue is that, can he support himself? Can he be in a place where he's able to really be able to take on another person in a relationship? Or is this going to cause further issues in the relationship down the line? Okay. And so then I had to look at it from another perspective. Is this his way of being on TV? Is this his way of another path of getting to where he wants to go to? And if that is the case, then Tay may be a casualty of war. You know what I'm saying to you? So at that particular place, I said, okay, sir, maybe this. I had to look at Tay at this point. I said, Tay, maybe you need to also look at the situation. Your gut instinct is telling you something. Listen to it. And it's not about shaming Cisco. It's about understanding that as men, we don't operate best, especially at his age. Like if he was 20, that's fine. But he's 40. And now you're at a point where, like he said, he feels shame and embarrassment because he knows he's trying to build that. Now, of course, you can build that with a woman if he's genuinely serious about that. Of course, if he's genuinely serious. But I don't know. I can't trust it. You're on a TV show. Okay? All right? I don't know. So for me personally, I'm looking at it going, okay, at 40, you've seen life, you've gone through it, etc., etc. So we're now at a point where we have to kind of like know the cycles of life. Like even myself right now, if I'm really honest with you, I'm not ready to. If I'm honest with you, I don't know how ready I am to date. And I said I'm ready in terms of my heart, but in terms of my finances, where I am, I like to be in a certain place. You know what I'm saying to you? It's not like I couldn't do it. It's just that I don't feel as comfortable as I was. I'm rebuilding. I'm learning new things. As I'm coaching people as well, I'm building new things a part of the business. So I realize that maybe I might not have as much time. So, bar God telling me this is what the person I'm meant to be with, that's cool. But on my own merit and devices, I might not be necessarily doing it. I certainly ain't got on no TV show. No, you know what I'm saying to you? If it falls in my lap, that's fine. But I'm certainly not going to a TV show to be like, put me on a TV show, I'm ready for love. And I think that's where I'm looking at it a little bit differently. Like, okay, at this point, okay, it's not easy. You know what I'm saying to you? Again, I'm not trying here to shame him. I'm more saying that we're just not in our best form as men when we're in that space. There's a lot that we're thinking about. And I get it. I absolutely get it. The instability at that point is very, very difficult, especially as a man. There is a lot of shame around your financial aspect and around you not being where you want to be financially. I get it. So I really do hear him on that particular perspective. Okay. And he did obviously share his heart with NAEEM about where he was. Now, I don't know. Was he fake crying? I can't lie to you. I wasn't believing the tears, but I may be somebody who is a little bit harsh. But these tears, I didn't see no tears.
I feel like the spark and the connection that was there in the beginning is fading. I'm still navigating.
So I hear it. Listen, I absolutely hear it, but I don't know if I saw tears. And you know how I feel? I don't like when people do those things where they start pretending they're crying, trying to gather sympathy. I don't like it. Now, he may have been emotional. I hear it. He may have been trying to stop himself from crying. When he put the tissue up, I said, I didn't see no tears. I didn't see it. You know what I'm saying to you? So again, what am I saying? I'm not saying that we have to be harsh on him, but I do have to really focus and look at it and go, are you playing me? Because I didn't see no tears. I didn't see the waterworks in the eyes, but you're making it as if you were in that space. I don't know. But I really appreciate his honesty in that moment in sharing that point of view. I think that's a really important aspect to look at, and I have to be commendable for the openness about that. Now, as for Tay, if I'm really honest with you, I think Tay should be leaving that ass alone. I think she should be leaving it alone. Let me tell you something. Listen, the brother knows what he's doing. I'm going to tell you this now. I said this before. Men size up women all the time. The game is a game. I'm going to let you play, and I'm going to choose a dark arts. He may be an honest person, but I'm going to choose dark arts. Men know the game. I'm going to tell you why. Let's look at this clip here. Okay.
I was just trying to figure out where I fit into his life as it is now.
Like you're everything I want in a person.
Okay, now Tay, let's be honest, sis. He's everything you want in a person. Yes, he's everything. He looks like everything you want in a person, but the stability is your biggest issue. Okay, all right. Stability is your biggest issue. Okay, so in this particular aspect, the way he was looking at her, he sized her up. He knew what he was doing. You see the way he stood. You see the way he looked at her. You see the way he gave her the eyes, the eye contact. She gonna fold. And again, once more, he's in that sleeveless top. And I know when you're feeling yourself, physically, I know this energy. So you're telling you, he knows how to lead with the body. I'm not mad at him. I'm only literally I'm just kind of highlighting something. He is leading with the body, and that for me is the issue. The issue is he's leading with the body, knowing that his body is going to get him in the door. And he's always got his arms out because he knows what it does to those kind of women. Women who fall for that, I know, because they lose their mind because they're, you know what I'm saying to you? Here is all discombobulated moisture. Yeah? And that's leading you too. So he knows what market he's in. And Tay is being confused by that. I'm not saying he can't talk. I'm not saying that, he can't have deep conversations. He probably does. I'm not denying that. But what I am saying is, what we're seeing is that Tay, you're also being drawn into this. Like, she's like, he's everything I want. Well, actually, you just found out he's not everything you want. There's things about him that you're not ready for. He's not ready for that conversation. You're not ready for that relationship right now, seemingly financially. You know what I'm saying to you? All right? Way he sized her up like this, I said, oh, girl, you are finished.
I'm like, you are.
Come on.
Man, I thought he was going to choke her. I can't even lie to you. I thought he was going to choke her. The way he pulled her in, I thought he was going to choke her. Like, you better. But you know what? When they pull you in to the chest like that, just know you're finished. Ladies, I'm going to tell you something. Never let that man pull you into his chest unless you're ready to submit and commit. Because that pull to the chest is an elite move. See, there are certain moves that are elite when it comes to relationships. Number one, kisses on forehead. Number two, kisses on cheeks. Number three, okay, is a good strong hug. Number four is a strong hug with your head on his chest, in between the pectoral muscles. This is elite dark art. I need you to understand. Number five, a hug from the back, a strong one. Okay. Number six, when they grab your hand and pull you in. Number seven, strong eye contact. When they're looking at you like this, they're not breaking, they're not focusing on anything else. Things could be happening, the world could be ended, but they're looking at it like this. That's another heart. These are elite moves you pull when you are in that space. When you combine the look with the pulling of the hand, you're not even looking. You see, you're not even. You know where your hand is, and you know where her hand is. You're not even gonna break eye contact. To here, bring your hand. Come here, man. The voice change, the intonation. Come here. You've gone from here to come here, and then it's that come here. You see your ear drums. There is what do you call it? Airwaves that are going in there, and it's doing whoo, whoo, whoo. As that is going in, it's going through your body. I want you to know it's going here, it's going whoo and shoo, and then it goes down. And then now you're like, I don't know what I'm thinking with. You see, men are not the only one that suffer with this. Women go through this too. When a man knows what he's doing, he knows, right? You felt the grip that he gripped you with. It was strong. It's like he's not letting go. It's like he's got you. Oh, baby, come on. You gonna get sucked in. You can't play these skills with guys who are well established in the game. And if you know that you're fancying him, this is not the place to be. If you know that he's got some red flags, this ain't it. This ain't it. You don't play that game with him. Brother is working her. Look at this. Just look at this. You think she's gonna be sensible after this? You think she can be sensible after that hug? Look where her head is. She is crying tears down the River Nile of his pectoral chest. You understand what I'm saying to you? The tears are flowing into the river canal between the two pectorals, and you think you're gonna be escaping. That's dark arts. That's dark arts. You have to be careful out here. It's a dangerous world out here. You're gonna find out that he a legend. Okay? You're gonna find out. Look. Hand behind the back of the head. He ain't grabbing no ass, nothing. You are finished. You're finished. You see, he's not even going to go for the immature move. Like, let me grab her ass. No. He's even doing the I've got you. This is the I've got you pose. You see the hand behind the head? It's to say I've got you physically. And you know what I'm saying to you? And I'm securing you. Not in a bad way. To say that, I'm supporting you. That's how it feels like. You know what I'm saying to you? That embrace. When's the last time she had one of those embraces? We don't know. So when it's been a long time, you got to be very careful. Okay? All right? Thank you, Monet. Thank you. I would put it up, but that comment exactly it. Yes. He penetrated without penetrations. Like, finished. Bro, good strong. Look at her arms. Look at her arms. She's finished.
So I'm leaving this conversation still having reservations about our relationship and our connection.
Nah, look at his face. He's finished her. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's finished her. Poor Tay. She doesn't know what happened. Oh, she don't know what hit her. Poor girl don't know what hit her. Poor girl don't know what hit her. Okay? All right? Finished. All right? So, listen. I just want to say it that, Tay, I need her to find her balance again because, sis, you're finished. Okay? And that's the sad thing about it. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? The game is the game. Okay? All right. Let me move on to another situation because I think this was really there were some interesting things that were happening, I think, as well on this episode. Let's talk about the next part that was a little bit, I say, concerning for me. Let's talk about Fritz as well. This Fritz, I don't understand what Fritz and Sahara are still doing. We know they ain't going nowhere. So I don't know why Fritz and Sahara are even trying to even have this conversation. But let me just take this off so you can see Fritz and Sahara. Really quickly, just want to play a little bit of
agreement. We text, but
We do text.
I feel like you was giving me copied and paste
Don't say that.
responses.
There's a lot of miscommunication in text.
No, because it literally said.
Okay. All right. So obviously, Fritz, really quickly, Fritz and Sahara, I don't know what they're doing. Okay, I don't know why they keep having these conversations. I don't know why we keep seeing them because we know that they ain't trying to do nothing. And every time she sees him, she presses him about the way that he consistently is copying and pasting. Now, I listen. I hear it. You know what? Sahara's not a fake one. But what was happening is that later on they called out Fritz. Now, I don't know if this. Hey, listen, I can't say that it's right or wrong. I'm going to say, listen, they felt how they felt, and Cam called him out for the pressing issue of when it came to Sahara. Now, does she deserve it? I don't know, but let me see.
Convincing them.
But you telling
My
them you're
bottom
trying
is not
to.
changing.
They're not convinced by you, but you're trying to
I'm not
convince them.
trying.
Hey, okay. This is what I mean when I say you are.
Okay, so the Fritz situation, right? I think Fritz just doesn't like certain type of gal. It's that simple. Okay, all right. Fritz just doesn't like certain type of gal. It is what it is. I'm not gonna be mad at it. Yeah, Fritz likes a certain type of woman, and I understand that. I'm not gonna be against it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But I know that and again, is he wrong for, I guess, asking other men to get her off the play? I mean, it's a game show. At the end of the day, it's a dating show, but it is a game show, right? But if you don't get caught, you can't be mad when they call you out, right? So you have to kind of like do both in a sense, right? You've got to be okay with the fact that if they call you out, they called you out. You can play the game, you can try and get her out, but you gotta, you know what I mean? So my thing is obviously that you got Cam and Sahara's situation, right? So Cam with Sahara, I know that he really likes Sahara. I know he likes her because I think he understands her. They're quite similar. They're quite guarded, both of them. So I think both of them in that essence, both of them in that essence, I do see how it can work between Cam and Sahara. Now, of course, when Cam said obviously that he felt like he was getting a little bit jealous seeing Sahara with when he was seeing Sahara with Jay, he was getting a little bit jealous. I was like, okay, all right, cool. Okay, I see it. You might really, really like her. You know what I'm saying to you? Or you might really like control. You know what I'm saying to you? So I don't know. We'll wait and see. Like I said, I think Sahara is somebody who says, take me as I am. And I hear it. I definitely hear it. I think there is a case for her to be able to say, okay, take you as you are. But I do feel that there's also another side of it where it's like, do you need to change? Right? And I'll discuss that maybe a little bit later on. But with Fritz, for me personally, with the Fritz situation, this poly thing has come up again. Fritz, this poly thing has come up again. What is going on, sir? Okay. All right. What is going on? Why are we discussing the poly lifestyle once more again? What is going on, Fritz? That's what I want to know. Why is it the poly lifestyle thing has come up once more again? Why? I'm starting to suspect you a little bit, just a little bit,
Fritz.
Yeah, you like polygamy, or have you ever been in a polyamorous relationship?
No, I've never been in a poly situation.
Okay.
Now I'm intrigued by it. Like I see.
So that's why
people
you
that
follow
do
the
it.
hashtag.
I'm not into poly. All right.
Now, I want to say this. Also, they kind of did him dirty because Coley obviously spread that information because he really denied it and said no. Okay. And unless there was something else that we have seen, this information has been spread. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And he may be a poly person. I don't know. And he may be lying. But my thing is, obviously, Coley's already spread that information to the other girls. You know what I'm saying to you? So now I'm questioning, like, okay, there's two things here. Number one, sometimes there's no smoke without fire. Number two, it's Coley setting him up with this whole hashtag thing, right? And I feel like Coley is somebody who's very anxious. And so in that space, she's very hypervigilant. So it could be that case. But it could be also that doesn't mean her hypervigilance is wrong. She may be right on this occasion. You know what I'm saying to you? So I think we'll wait and see next few weeks and see how it plays. Because obviously Fritz had a connection with Shanice, right? Fritz had a connection with Shanice. And I was like, oh, okay. There could be something going on here, Fritz and Shanice. They were out here doing ice cream and kisses and, and I was like, okay, this could be something between the two of them. I don't know. I just never saw it coming. I'm not going to lie to you. I never saw Fritz and Shanice coming around the corner. I never thought they would be a good match per se. But hey, listen, you take your chance when you get it. And I guess people are connecting in ways that we haven't necessarily seen. You know what I'm saying? So I'll play a little clip so you guys can see. Because this was interesting as well.
It kind of feels like there was a certain butterfly spark happening. You're welcome.
Oh, now Shanice, what's going on, bro? Why was it that kiss straight away? What's going on, fam? How do we get there? Obviously, we don't see what's happening behind the scenes. They might have been talking deep, but how do we get there? How do we get from there, having ice creams, to kisses on lipses? That's what I want to know. Now, of course, to get to a place where you're now kissing, I feel honest, you must feel a certain level of comfortability, trust, and you like them. Okay, all right. So I understand, right? That you like them, you trust them, you feel it. But I was like, okay, from and it's because they had a conversation. Let me be fair. There was a conversation that they had, which was really powerful. I can't lie. Let me play the clip for you guys.
You sent me the affirmations first. You showing me that you will actually want me to be a better person is so invaluable to me.
Shanice and I, we're...
Now, shout out to Shanice and Fritz, because to be honest, when you do hear a woman say to you, that she feels like she's going to be a better person, I think that's a really big statement. I can't lie to you. because in order for that woman to feel like she has to be a better person to be with you, right? That particular thing is because there's trust there, there is care there, and you respect that particular person. So when she said that, unless she's playing games, then that's fine. But when you hear a woman say that, that's a very solid statement. I can't lie to you, you know, because not every woman wants to be better when they're around you. You know what I'm saying to you? Not every woman wants to be, you know, very be their best when they're with you. And a lot of times, a woman will tell you to take me as I am, but she only says that to the people that she knows that, you know, are going to accept that. The person who says, nah, I expect better, is because that woman sees something in you and goes, if I was to be that person, I need to be up another level. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Okay, so I definitely have to take that on board as to why that kiss came. It's because there must be trust, there must be a level of safety, and there must be a level of attraction there that is happening, because we've got want to be better and we've got also a kiss. That's strong. Can't lie to you. Y'all might as well close up the shop now and go home, right? So, you know, whenever you hear someone say, I wish to be better when I'm around you, close the shop and be out. It's finished. What else is there to do? You know what I'm saying to you? Like, and you're attracted to that person and you have access to that person. Yeah, at that point, you might as well quit. You know what I'm saying to you? Shout out Wendy. Thank you for that as well, for giving the memberships. We are going to go membership only in a few minutes as well. Shout out to Italia and Destin as well for the 199. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. We thank you very much. All right, cool. Let's move on from there. Like I said, we're gonna move on from there, and we'll get some other couples, because I think there's some other things. There's one thing I want to address as well. Okay, let's see. There was another couple I want to break down. Let's break down the. Well, let's actually let me break down the Rocky and the NAEEM situation, because that was not bringing sexy back at all. I felt for this one. Rocky and NAEEM did not go the way it was. Well, have I got cameras here? I apologize. I put the wrong names there. But Rocky and NAEEM did not go the way it needed to go. Apologies about the names. Please forgive me.
The phone call 1, 2 in the morning. Don't matter where I'm at. I gotta stop what I'm doing and go get that body. I was already with somebody, so when I got the phone call, I was just like, "Hey, ride with me. I'll go pick the body up."
Okay, so I kind of went a bit early, but NAEEM and Rocky had a conversation, right? And they were talking about her poetry. Shout out to her, the poetry. I like poetry, but spoken word. I'm a slam poetry. I'm never against it. I think it's amazing when people do it. I'm a big fan of it, to be honest. And yeah, I enjoyed seeing that aspect as well. But she tried to bring sexy back, and it didn't work. She tried to bring sexy back, and it didn't work. NAEEM is not interested. Therefore, anything she does do will not be seen in a way that is positive and light. Like it was like a good poetry. It was very sexy. But the thing is, you have to have a buy-in to do sexy back. You need to have a buy-in with that person. That person needs to find you attractive. They need to want you. They want to like you. They need to find you somewhat intriguing, because when you drop it, the person needs to be able to be like, oh, I like it. But when they don't fancy you, a sexy back don't work. Okay? It don't be working. Okay? All right? And unfortunately for Rocky, I just feel like she's got the wrong market. She's in the wrong market. Okay, all right. She's in the wrong market. The man them don't want her like that. Okay. Someone said the poem was cringe. It's cringe, but it's cringe only in the sense of it's the market. It's the market. She was in the wrong arena for that particular poetry to work. Had she been with somebody who liked her, had she been with somebody who wanted her, the poetry would have been fine, because the person would like them and be cool with them. Do you know what I'm saying to you? But when they don't like you and they don't want you like that, then it becomes an issue. You know what I'm saying to you? Let's play it.
Powder, gripping the sides of my thighs. My hands got his motion, taking me to new highs.
Right. With me and Rock, even though
it's actually good poetry. The problem is the person doesn't like you like that. And there's one thing that men and women both hate the most. If I don't find you sexually attractive and you try to make me think of you sexually, it's a turn off and it makes me feel sick. Okay? Right? when when a man or a woman does not find you sexually attractive, and somebody tries to make themselves in your brain, tries to put the image of sexualness in your brain, you are more angry than anything. It's like they want to fight you right there and then. You know what I'm saying to you? They're frustrated looking at you. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? You get what I'm saying to you, right? So in reality, it's a very hard sell to somebody who doesn't um uh who is a very hard sell to somebody who is not on that. They're not feeling you like that. Simple as. You get what I'm saying to you? Look at his body language. I want to show you something. Look at his body language. Look at his body language. Look at his legs. Look how he's sitting. That brother don't want nothing but nothing else.
Read me her poetry. We really didn't go too much further than surface. So as dope as a woman she may be, I don't feel like it went past the friend zone.
Yeah, it's a friend zone thing. Brother was so uninterested. The brother was so uninterested in it. Do you know what I'm saying to you? So, you know, listen, I want to be fair. Rocky's just in the wrong market. Okay, she's in the wrong market, and the show needs to put her out of her misery because it's the wrong market. I don't think she's the wrong person. I think it's the wrong market. That's what I'm going to say. Because you know, I think in the right market they would want her, eat her up. But what's happened to Khalil? What's happened to her connection with Khalil? Is Khalil still there? You know, we'll have to find out. Because clearly we haven't seen any more from the Khalil situation, which is a shame, really. But yeah, that was there. Now let me move on to another key moment on the show as well. Okay, so I want to talk about this issue because I think this will be very helpful for me as well. Because then I can break down the video a little bit later on. I didn't put a thing on this. I wish I did one. Let me talk quickly about this situation here as well.
How do you feel?
I feel light and free.
I'm glad you
I
came.
appreciate that. Thank
You
you for
in
having
my
me.
world.
Glad we definitely got this time today.
Uh,
All right.
It's really
All right, Angie. Okay, so Angie and Hussein. Okay, let me say this now. I like Angie. I think she's a cool person. Here's my issue with Angie, and not in a bad way. Angie is desperate, or so it seems, and that's her issue. It's always going to come off as desperate because she always overgives, and that's her biggest issue. She is too quick to give, and that's the biggest issue. When you come with a man and a woman together, right? Of course, if someone likes you, the rules go out the window. But let's take the rules out. Let's take the fact that no one likes you. Let's take it as a normal situation. Like, for instance, she bought a key ring for Hussein. It's a very nice gesture, right? It's a very nice gesture. The problem is, it's going to put you in the friend zone. Let me tell you why it's going to put you in the friend zone. Because what you are doing is you are moving into the wrong space. When we talk about attachment styles, Angie gives me very much an anxious person. And the problem with anxious people is they're always trying to prove that they're worthy of love. So all their actions are always over giving. They're always giving. If you are somebody in the data market who always says, I always give and then I never get nothing back, you're an overgiver and you're not self-aware. You're blaming other people for receiving, but you overgive. You don't wait for people to give you space and the green light to give. You just anticipate and go ahead. And what you're doing is you're flouting the dating rules. You need to stop. Angie needs to stop. Angie, if you can hear me, stop. You don't need to prove that you are worthy. When that man sees you and he wants you, he isn't asking your credentials. He just likes you and has put worth on you automatically. Stop trying to prove yourself. Because when you see people that are anxious, they're always moving. She's always moving. And that means you're always doing something. Sit down, Angie. Rest. And let that man come to you. Sit down, rest, let the man come to you. Because what you're actually doing is you're taking his role. I'm not saying a woman shouldn't give anything. No, she should, right? But let that man make that move. Allow him to come onto you. Allow him to maneuver with you, right? It was a very nice gesture. Look, it was a very nice gesture.
really nice to, have that moment of solitude. Just
Yeah, because it's two of us.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know you was talking about the baby. I know he lives far.
Like, it's so nice gesture. And what she ended up doing was getting a key ring or a a particular kind of jewelry piece, and she gave it to Hussein. It's a very nice gift and a very thoughtful one. The problem is, it's too soon. There is a lack of investment from the other party. And if there is no investment there yet, why are you doing that? You see what I'm saying to you? If there's no investment in that space, why am I giving you the gift? Right? Now, listen, it may work, but the reality of the situation is it's actually a subset of behaviors that you have. You overcook. Right? You overcook. And that's how you end up in a friend zone. And that's why chocolate students said that's a good term. You can't reach someone to be thoughtful, though. I do it with my friends. Absolutely. With your friends. With your friends. Okay? Now, in this situation too, I know people might think, oh, that the men might be liking it. They may be. But remember, it's a game show. I need votes. And if you're willing to be thirsty after me, I can hold you in position. Do you know what I'm saying to you? I don't need to do anything. So that constant getting over the top is annoying. Like, and you're not showing any kind of reserved energy for anybody else. It's all, anybody gets it that you like. Eddie's getting the over treatment. Now Cam is going to get this phone number situation. Now Hussein's getting gifts. You're doing too much. You're doing too much too soon. Relax a little bit. Those qualities are good, but the time and the season has to be put into it. It's the same with men. When men are too quick to give gifts, be careful of those things too. They should not be in a rush to give you a gift. They don't know who the heck you are. They're giving you a gift because you're a baddie. Oh, listen, he may not be the one for you. He doesn't know who you are, but he's giving you gifts just because you're pretty from straight away. Be very careful of those kind of people, because usually it doesn't come free. It comes with an expectation. Hidden's one. And so I'm just saying that you have to be very careful of those kind of things, that she just needs to settle down a little bit. Let the thing come to you. When you establish that relationship, you can buy the ring, wait, and if the relationship begins to flourish a little bit later on, we're getting deeper, then by all means get the gift. By all means. Right? Because again, for men, specifically in our mindset, one of the things that we want is that we like to know that we've earned something. Do you see what I'm saying to you? You gave me gifts and I haven't really earned it. Do you see what I'm saying to you? I haven't earned it. Just got to be careful. All right? Got to be very, very careful of them things there. So I look at it and I go, all right, cool. You know, you got to look at it in a particular way and just be aware of that it's going to come off that way. Okay? Let me see. Let me play a little bit more.
Yeah.
So I got something for you.
What you got for me?
I got the same thing for my son. He can keep this on his keychain, and he knows that you're going to be there all the time.
Thank you.
Yep.
And one thing you have to understand about men is, just like women, people believe that men are always going to be straightforward. Sometimes men are just not straightforward to you. In these situations, they don't want to be rude. They're like, yeah, thank you. I really, really appreciate that. They've cancelled you in their head. They're just saying you're cool. She's cool. She's cool. She's cool. They don't always tell you straight away that they're not interested anymore. So you just got to be aware of that. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Be aware of those situations. Now, my last thing I want to dissect. And before I do it, listen, we've got 467 people in the room. Listen, if you are here in this room, I want you to like the live, okay? If you're in the room, like the live. If you're in the room, like the live. We appreciate you guys, okay? If you're in the room, like the live, okay? Like the live, all right? I want to see you guys in here, and I can see that you guys have sent some memberships. Let me just quickly do this membership situation. I see that people are doing this. Shout out to Latasha Edwards for becoming a member. We appreciate you as well. Thank you so much. Wow, look at Wendy first and foremost with the 5 memberships gifted. I appreciate it. We love to see those things, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know,
yes, the new king.
Shout out to Wendy with the 5 there as well. Ooh, baby. High vibe with the 5 as well. Memberships. Hey. We gotta appreciate you.
We will not have it. I said we will not have it all.
We will not have it all. Is indeed. Listen, high five. Shout out to you for the 5 as well. We appreciate you. It's better to give than it is to what? You know what to say. All right. And shout out to Ari as well with the 5. Come on, y'all gonna keep me here. I like it. You know what I'm saying?
We have watched and listened from the mountains. We have watched with disgust.
Listen, we appreciate the fact that you guys are giving like it's Christmas has come early. It's appreciated. Oh, we got another 5 from under the olive branches. Hey, listen, the grace of the Lord is working right now. Y'all said nobody's going to be outside. We're all going to be inside. I love the fact that you guys are saying this. Uh-huh.
Are you done? Are you done?
Shout out to those who've been gifted out the memberships. Let me make it members only as a huge respect for those of you who have shared this with other people so they can also enjoy the festivities of this particular show. Hold on a minute now, because we got to make this a members only live before I do my last dissection, because this is my favorite one. I want to do this one. This is about Eddie and Coley and breaking them down, because there was something that was really interesting that happened between Eddie and Coley, which I want to break down with you guys in terms of attachment styles and how it plays a role in relationships. And it happened right there as well to the two of them on the steps. And I said, oh, Lord, that boy done sent her to the gulag. All right, we got members only. Fantastic. If you're not a member, baby, it's time to become one. You get me? Oh, y'all don't want me to rest. Y'all don't want me to rest. Shout out to Reese's as well with the 10. Woo! With the 10, baby. Y'all said
yes. The new king.
Who let the dogs... I shouldn't say that, because it's a woman who said it. It's going to sound bad. They're going to put 2 and together. Let me not do that. Let me just be sensible. We appreciate you, Reese's, for the 10 there as well. You said no one's going to be left outside tonight. Okay, all right. Shout out to El Cid with the 10 as well, and said nobody will be left outside today. You see, you've said you want to do so. You said, listen.
I don't want peace. I want problems always.
She says she wants problems always. We appreciate you guys for sharing the love out here. There should be nobody outside. Everybody come in. Everybody come inside, okay? I love that. Listen, I want to just dissect this last one and get a few people on the panel, get them talking and get them conversing as well. You know what I'm saying, Chew? Okay, cool. Let me get this one in. Shout out to Penny. I ain't seen Penny in a little while. Penny. I haven't seen her in a little while. All right, let me break down this particular scene here as well. You know, I think this was a powerful scene that was needed to be broken down. It was Eddie and Coley, and I know they did. I know they put this on Jasmine the Brand as well. They spoke about this, but I think it's a really good example. Eddie's a little player. I mean, okay, no, I can't put it on him, because to be fair, he's still trying to navigate the show and doesn't want any issues just yet. So let me be fair to him. You know what I'm saying to you? I have to be fair to him. So let me do that first and foremost. Let me be fair to him. Okay. All right. Cool. Let me just get my little friend. Okay, Eddie and Coley. All right. Let me play a clip here for you guys. Oh damn.
I felt something that I didn't feel with other people, and if you would have said, "Let's get out of here," I would have said, "Let's get out of here."
When it comes to Eddie,
now Coley, relax. Freaking lax. Coley, I like Coley. Beautiful woman at that. I like Coley, okay? I really do, all right? But Coley, can we relax? Let me tell you why Coley needs to relax, okay? Sis, you are talking out of attraction and nothing else. It's giving talking out of attraction. When you telling us that, you know what, if you had told us we can go get out of here, I'd have got out of here. Sis, I need you to find the center and find the balance. Okay, all right. Find the center, find the balance. Because in that particular moment, okay, all right, it's because obviously Eddie's a very good looking man. You are a little bit excited. The girlies have got a little bit excited. You know what I'm saying to you? And now he's become a prize. It's like, who gonna capture him? Okay, all right. So when she said, listen, if you had wanted to get out of here, I would have got out of it. I said, sis, find composure quickly. Find composure quickly. Because what's about to happen next is an indication of the fact that she could not take the fact that she didn't have power over that guy. And I don't mean it in a dark arts way. I'm just saying it in the sense of just what was happening. Okay. Here we are.
There is just like that magnetism there.
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. She looks baddie there. I can't lie. That clothing there was baddie.
I would like to explore that and see what happens.
I like this look up here. She looks a bit crazy in other pose. But anyway, listen. Okay. So, as she said, obviously, you know, and yeah, she definitely was a little bit chopped up. She definitely was a little bit chopped up. I can't lie to you. Drink had definitely entered her system, and they got her down bad. Okay, they got her down bad. All right. But again, this is leading up to the moment of what we're saying is that that's an inhibition. What that drink allowed her to get to a place where she was going to be free enough to do what she probably wanted to do. Okay, and what she could not do without the drink.
Wait, did you see this over here?
I see you deeper than you realize. 100%.
So obviously, man's got the whole hug on her. Yeah, that's the cold arts too. He got the whole hug on her, arms around her, sitting on a step like it's a bad boy 90s movie. You know, it's like it's Love and Basketball without the basketball. You know what I'm saying to you? Like I get it. It looks like a moment. Okay, it looks like a moment. Okay, but it's not the moment she thought it actually was. Let's play a bit more.
You go.
Now here's when I knew it was messed up. Here is when I knew it was messed up. Okay, this Titanic Jack look, you know, with a Celine Dion song playing behind it. Okay, and the wind blowing in your hair. Oh, yeah, wherever you. Okay, I don't sing today, but you know what I'm saying to you? That little moment where she looks up and she's looking at him like, this is gonna be that moment, like a moment like this. Some people wait a lifetime. Like that Leona Lewis moment. Yeah, I know she was looking for it, but it isn't it. Okay, the look up was telling us she wants this to be a moment. Okay,
What's up? Oh,
she unfolding the body.
I'm not a general.
Darling, you are pressing the issue. Darling, you are pressing the issue, and I know you want to shoot your shot. I know you want to shoot your shot. Sissy, relax. I want you to relax. Because we're moving too fast. And I don't think it's right. But you ain't getting no love tonight. That's song lyrics, by the way. It's not my own. Here is that key moment. She's like, I'm not a general contractor. Some of you girls think you got game. You ain't got no game.
I'm gonna knock them down.
I didn't like the fact
She said she gonna knock a nigga down. I added a knee. It's probably Negro. She said she gonna knock someone down. And basically, you know what she was trying to say? I would hit it. You know, I don't know. But I looked and I said, baby, we're in a far land right now. And this is not looking good. This is not looking good. We're not in a good space. We're not in a good part. And I really understand it. Okay. All right. Yeah. I hear it. Knock his walls down. Yes. And of course, Angie's obviously chiming in.
that Coley and Eddie are hooked up and getting super close, because to me that's disrespectful.
You over there hung
Now,
up?
Angie, I know you want to say it's disrespectful, but really and truly, is it? You're not together. I get what you're saying, but you're not together. You know what I'm saying to you? I actually understand what you're saying, but you're not together. I don't think either of these ladies have a chance. You know what I mean? But yeah. I don't think either of them have a chance. If I'm really honest with you, I don't think anybody was trying to. I don't think he's really trying to give her a chance either. I know he's playing with her a little bit, but Angie did the exact same thing that Coley did without kissing. Okay? Angie did the exact same thing. Why? Because Angie and Coley are anxious people. And anxious people are people that cling to you. And you can see that. There's just no rest. There's no rest. With people that are clingy, you see there's no rest. None.
With Coley, I'm gonna kill both of y'all.
I'm wondering why Coley is talking to my connection, but you know, I'm gonna let him live. I'm gonna let him live for today.
At this moment when I knew she messed up. It was at that moment when she turned up the body and was beginning to perch herself. At that point, I said, sis, if you don't sit down somewhere. She was making her move, and I was like, sis, please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please. I said, please don't do it, sis. I need you to relax. And I know that it was a moment for her, but like I said, when you're anxious, this is what tends to happen. You tend to kind of overplay your hand. You tend to try and close a space. You're afraid of them creating too much distance, so it flips your nervous system into a place where you have to act. So when we're seeing Angie giving gifts, we've seen Coley thinking that she can use her beauty to kind of close the gap, right? But in reality, all she was doing was that she was actually prematurely moving. Prematurely.
Give me a kiss. You scared? No.
I was like, oh no, Coley. First of all, she said, give me a kiss. Okay. And then he said, no, sis, I need you to respect them boundaries. Not because I think you're going to be breaking anybody's boundaries anytime soon, but what I'm saying to you is, sis, respect the boundaries. Okay? All right. That man don't want you like that. Okay? He said, listen, he don't want to have that kiss in public. Why? Probably doesn't want to out himself. You know, his other people that like him are in the public eye. This is not the one. I get it. You don't want to do this right in public. Would he have kissed her if they had been private? Maybe, but I don't know if he would have. I don't know if he did it. Wouldn't have. But he might have done it. He would have been more inclined to do it, probably because it's private. But the reality of the situation is this: putting it on him like this. I hear it, but he ain't gonna do it.
Like it wasn't.
Now, the fact that she got angry in that moment, I said, sis, you are hypervigilant. Okay, remember we said this. I said this about her with the Fritz situation, that hypervigilance that she has is a problem because it comes from a hurt place. Why are you searching for hashtags? That's what I was saying to you last time, because all of these behaviors are subsets of the attachment style. And so now we're seeing what happened. The immediate moment that he actually said he's okay, now he doesn't want to kiss, she got angry for a fit and walked off. Now, of course, everybody has their moments. But again, this goes back to what I said about the attachment style. She got angry and annoyed in that moment because she couldn't get what she wanted, but didn't realize that she didn't read the room. She didn't read the room. Right? And absolutely, Linda V. That's again going back to those very same things. A great point. That is from the mixer. It's the exact same thing. We saw this on the very first day. Her and Sahara did the exact same thing. They don't take rejection well. They don't. You know what I'm saying to you? And people like that, we don't play with them. Because you can easily get caught up in a situation. Right? That's why it's actually dangerous. We talk about men, they may do some violence. Okay, cool. But if she now starts speaking about him, saying he does this, he does that, your reputation could be in the loo. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Right? Your reputation can now be in the loo because now she can end up saying something to somebody else. Oh, he's like this, da, da, da. He don't respect women. He don't like women. He did it. And before you know it, your name is being dragged through the mud, all simply because he didn't want to kiss you in that moment. Right? She tried for a kiss. He said no. Respectfully, just sit back down. You know what I'm saying to you? Hey, you know what? I tried. It's okay. That's cool. You know what I'm saying to you? But instead, she got up, she moved. You know what I'm saying to you? And that's where she's going to have to do some work because you see, and these are the three wounds. I talk about this all the time. Abandonment, betrayal, rejection. These are the three wounds that are linked to attachment styles, right? So you've got anxious, avoidant, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant, okay? The fearful avoidant has betrayal, abandonment, and rejection. All three are linked with fearful avoidance. Then you have dismissive avoidance, who are linked with rejection. And then you have what we call anxious people. They're afraid of abandonment, okay? And so in these spaces, when I saw, obviously, Coley act the way she did about the rejection piece, and I said that she got a very anxious tendencies. Now, anxious people are more afraid of the abandonment. That reaction she gave was more FA. It was more fearful avoidant, where they don't like rejection. They're afraid of that rejection. Okay? And really and truly, she shouldn't have, you know, that aspect of things is like you have to look at it differently and go, okay, now we go back to that very first day. You had a very bad reaction to the fact that they said they didn't want you, and it's because you have deeper wounds that you need to work out, sis. Right? Deeper wounds. Now, Eddie himself may have avoidant tendencies because the way that was literally an avoidant anxious cycle. And this is gonna be my last 3 points because I want to get some people on after my time, but that's that anxious avoidance cycle that you see a lot of times in relationships, right? So if you're somebody who's an anxious person and you've met an avoidant person, you know what that is. As an anxious person, you try to close the gap to the avoidant person. The avoidant person goes, you're doing too much, pushes you away. And what happens is then you're repelled and then you're like, what's happened here? And what happens is the anxious person wants to prove that they're worthy and they go and chase that avoidant person once more again. There was no need for her to really, truly be this frustrated about the situation. I get it, you were a little bit hurt and your feelings were hurt, but she needed just to kind of just chill it a little bit. That was all. Just chill it a little bit. And then her saying what she said underneath her breath.
In a proper place for it, Angie and Deanna, they probably have been mad. I feel like, me and Coley, it was just physical attraction for the most part.
Now, this brother just told us what he felt about Coley. All it was for him was physical attraction. There's nothing else with Coley. And it's what we said about her the very first time. I said, Coley looks like she is an airhead. It feels like people are looking at her like she's an airhead. And that's because it feels like there's no substance coming to the table. We need to have more substance. I said I liked her when she was more vulnerable, but she's giving off airhead at the moment. And it's giving lack of depth. It's giving a lack of real deepness about you. And that may not be the truth. It may be that you're masking things. I said the exact same thing about Will. Will looks like he lacks depth because you are coming across that way. Now, it may not be the case. It may not be the case, but that is how it's coming across. So you need to be vulnerable to be able to show those other sides of you. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was like, okay, it's a lot right now. But anyway, let me get El Cid on and we'll get the chopping it up because, like I said, we got some things to discuss, and I'm sure the guys will join us in a few minutes as well. My people, they're like me. We join late, everything. So, El Cidio. Talk to me, El Cid. What are we saying?
I hope we're bringing the same fire for Fritz because he also doesn't have a place to stay. He did tell us that is not his home.
He had no place to stay.
He said that is not his home.
Okay,
that was a temporary place.
Was he renting?
It seemed like Airbnb.
Okay. Well, I don't. We'll see what he's. I didn't hear that part.
Oh, that was the pool party when he said, "This is not my place. This is not my place. This is temporary." He's just renting it. So, at least it's bigger than a room. At least it's bigger than a room.
And it takes money to run an Airbnb. But anyway, go for it, sis.
I just don't understand it. Why is it? Why is it the ladies of accomplishment are on these dating shows? Meaning they have their business, they have their, if you consider success degrees. Why are they on this show or these dating shows? Yet the men of that standard are not there. It's like, we're saying, we don't want struggle love. We don't want all of that. But it's like, even in the dating show, we're not getting balance. We're not getting the balance. I'm like, it just screams to me that, yes, we will encounter these men, but will we really give them a chance if it wasn't on the show? I doubt it. I doubt it. I mean, I would look at you. I would look at Francisco. Oh, you look nice. And that's it. I'm not going to entertain. Oh, no car. Ooh, back up. No home, just renting a room, which means you have a community bathroom. Ooh, back up 2 more steps. And then the caveat for me is, why doesn't his mother want anything to do with him? That was the 3rd strike of all strikes. Why doesn't Francisco's mother not want anything to do with him? I mean, I know the divorce was probably hard. It took him financially. It really took a toll on him. But usually mama comes and says, hey, you know, I'm a really help you out. I'm gonna help you get on your feet. Mama said, no, not here. So I need to know what kind of rebel Francisco was as this child.
Yeah, he may have lived a particular lifestyle at the point in time. So maybe at the time it was incompatible with being at home with his Marge. You know what I'm saying to you? Or maybe also as well with the marriage thing that obviously ended. We don't know what happened in between that marriage aspect. Maybe that was also something that the mother didn't agree with. You know, I think obviously with Cisco, you know, and his situation, I think if we're breaking him down, I look at Cisco and I go, he has all the physical attributes that make up to be an amazing man physically. You know, he's tall, he's athletic, he's well built, he's a good looking man, hair on point, you know, well groomed, you know, dresses well, seems as well, at least for his fit and his body. So he physically matches all the attributes. And so therefore his foot is always in the door. Like his foot will always be in the door because the immediate thing that you see grants a level of access. It is what you it is then after you're speaking to him that if you're wanting more from your life, or you're sorry, I shouldn't even say it because that sounds very rude. If you're wanting something else from your life in terms of you have a plan, a vision, you have goals that have set in a particular way at this particular time and point where he is, we're not necessarily seeing that. Number two, of course, these shows are not allowing us more time. We'd like to know more of his mindset, his mentality. At the moment, I'm not necessarily hearing it, but it's because I haven't heard much of him in terms of, I would like to say, more of a growth mindset. Like you can see that someone's down, but their mindset tells you they're going to be right back up again. They're going right. They're not trying to make excuses. They're focused on where they're trying to go to. And I don't know if I've heard that from him just yet. And that's what I'm kind of saying. So I'm not saying that he hasn't got that, but I haven't really heard that just yet. So I would be precautious about playing with that person. It'd be like if I was talking to a woman and I felt like, you know what, she's got toxic traits. I'm not in a space anymore to be like, oh yeah, that's so cute. In my head, I'm like, if I'm not hearing you grow and you're not doing work on that, that's not for me anymore. I don't care how bad you are, you know?
But then that should be Tay. She said she was cheated on in a past relationship, yet here she is having a heart for someone who admits that they cheated. But what I do like about this whole Cisco situation and what you broke down earlier, we always talk about how the ladies may use their physical attributes to draw somebody in. We are clearly seeing it with a man now. And that is what I love with this section. Cisco, the first thing he did was take the shirt off. First thing he did was put himself on display. He probably wants that visual adoration. And now we realize, oh, you want to be on display, you wish to be admired, and that's how you're going to reel the lady in. Conversation, this and that. Now he is totally using, you know, his body to possibly get what he wants. But yeah, it was dark arts. The last caveat of that dark art moment was that when he held her close, he wasn't even looking at her. He was looking off into the distance with no emotion. Camera angle, maybe, but he was not falling into the hug himself. So it was performative. So yeah.
You know what is interesting? Yeah, because on that, and there was even, and I probably have to go back and watch it again. There was an angle where it caught them from the side, and maybe I don't know if I saw it very quickly. I may be wrong, where it almost looked like he was laughing, so like he had a smirk on his face.
The villain laugh.
Yeah, almost like a villain laugh, like I got you. You know what I'm saying to you? Maybe she said something funny. I don't know, right? So I have to be very fair. But I think when I look at it, the reason why he didn't fall in is because, again, I think this comes back to that emotional depth and the ability to connect in an immediate moment. Because I think also when someone is, for instance, someone's crying and they're doing that, doing emotional. I think when you look at when you connect in that moment, right? I'm hugging you. Like you said, I'm also involved in the moment with you because I understand this is an emotional moment we're having, right? So you're right. Your facial expressions also go with that. Your body language goes with that, right? But we didn't actually necessarily see that from him. He held frame, which I think at certain points is a good thing. But in this moment, I didn't see that it needed to be. I'm not saying he should be crying, by the way, but I'm saying in the sense of like, you know, he held frame in a way that almost felt like he is emotionally distant. And I think that may also play a role into his relationships, that he may be good looking, he may be, you know, energetic and vibrant, and you get a nice vibe from him when you start, but he may be also very distant.
But look at it with, so he's willing to share his emotion with NAEEM. NAEEM, you know, I appreciated that conversation. He told him, hey, she has a right to feel how she feels. And if this is what's going to knock you out for the count, this is what it is. She has a right to feel that. My thing is, it seems like Cisco wasn't listening to NAEEM. It feels like he heard him, but he wasn't listening, because technically, if you want to hear that, he wouldn't have been trying to pull Tay in and try to convince her otherwise. It'll be like, whatever you're feeling is whatever you're feeling, and that's it. But I did appreciate NAEEM telling him, you know, y'all, we dog NAEEM with the 5 children and 5 mothers. You know, he has his own business. I'm sure he has a place to stay. It's like, I guess we got to rest a little bit and hear about the background of all these other folks, because we learned HUSSEIN has a son now in another state. So it's like, dang, I was like, y'all need to get NAEEM out of here. Nobody wants to deal with this, but then here we come, no vehicle, and we're living in a room. Do we want to deal with that? I mean, I cannot stand the fact that these are the choices the women are left with, but my golly, which one would people choose if those were the only 2 options? Or maybe take the third option, like, I'm not going to entertain either one of these men. But I was roasting NAEEM the first time, but I'm like, now, Cisco, you deserve to be on the lowest level of the roast, closest to the fire.
No, I definitely hear that. Before I move on, let me just shout out some of the super chats as well. Linda V said, don't forget to subscribe. Let's get Coach to 100K. Amen. Let's get to that 100K, baby. We appreciate you, Linda V, for that. Love and peace for that. MD said, listen, has become a YouTube member. So listen, we appreciate you for coming a member, MD. Thank you for joining us inside, okay, as well. We didn't want you to be outside. We want you to be inside. Shout out to my two people as well. Coley out here with a $9.99. You've been a big supporter. I appreciate you. You know, I've always got a special video for Coley because, what happened? I done kick you out. Sorry, babe. I done kicked you out. That was by mistake. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened.
You could ask me to leave. You don't have to just toss me out like you close the chat. Sometimes you close the chat, don't tell us it's members only. You can just ask me to leave. I'll leave.
I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. Shout out to Coley with a 999. I appreciate you.
Let the challenge begin.
We appreciate Coley for that as well. Shout out to you for that. Appreciate you. And shout out to Crystal with the Goldens as well. Came out and said, we love you, Koji, and appreciate all that you do. Much respect to you, your consistency, and your intellectual perspective. God bless. Shout out to Crystal as well. We appreciate you. Okay. Thank you very much, Crystal. You got a very beautiful DP. Listen, we got to play a little clip for, obviously, our good sis as well.
Is yes, the new king.
That's right. The team is woo. All right, let me bring my other fellow cast member up as well. Mr. Black, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? Ready for this discussion. Had a great night watching this show, and I just really want to get things started. So I'm listening to you guys. I don't want to jump in ahead of anyone, so I'll come in when it's time for me to come in.
Oh, you can jump in right now. We were just literally talking about Cisco.
He came with the bright lights tonight. You came with the bright lights, Black.
He ain't in the dark today. Today.
Look. I looked at the last video. I was like, yo, where are my lights? So I had to brighten thing, the things up real quick. So yeah, brighten up a little today. Cisco. For me, Cisco, he has a lot going on. Cisco has a lot going on. I want to first say the thing that really just that I think NAEEM was trying to have with Cisco as far as having a man-to-man conversation. I think that's something that's very important that we do need to have more of. But in this particular sense, with everything that he unloaded to NAEEM, he should have been the one that hold him accountable for the areas in his life that does need improvement, the areas in his life that is his fault, that has to do with him, the self-work that's needed. So I understand uplifting. I understand motivating your fellow man by your side, and I get that. But sometimes that's not always what's needed. The accountability is needed. The, hey, where did you go wrong with your mom? The, where did you go wrong here? Where did you go wrong there? Get more information, and then you can build up from there. But there needs to be an accountability piece that's there as well that I felt was missing with Cisco. I don't really understand how any man who is single and has a driven mind or considers himself to be a leader would choose to be in a relationship first before handling his own side business, which means having a vehicle, which means having a place to stay, a stable place to stay. Those things are very important. Do we all fall down? Sometimes, we do fall down. I'm not saying he is a bad guy because of that. I'm saying maybe the show could have been on hold until next season or another round when it comes to Philadelphia, but it wasn't of the utmost importance to be on the show as it is for him getting his financials in order. So to me, I think that his decision making is now in question. So Tay's first thought, I have to agree with, yeah, it's not for her. She knows it's not for her. So why is she going back into him knowing that it's not for her? So to me, I think it's a production situation. Hey, don't give up on him. I need you guys to kind of fix this. He really likes you. I don't know if that's the case or not, but I'm just saying that the rekindling did not feel genuine to me. So to me, I just felt like it was a little dry. I think that he has to be accountable for his actions. I think he should have led with that. If he's going to be vulnerable to someone like this right now and get that type of feedback, I mean, you're asking a lot. To be honest with you, you're asking a lot, and you can't put that on another person. I mentioned last week, where we're at an age now where we have the option to choose. If she doesn't want to deal with it, she doesn't have to deal with it. If she wants to deal with it, then she can. But I think her first instinct when she said, hey, that's not for me, I think that was a true of her heart that was really coming out. But Cisco has a lot to work on. Again, I see what NAEEM was trying to do, but it just wasn't the time for that. He didn't need that at that time.
Seems like his decision making was bad going all the way back. If cheating was the reason for the dissolution of his marriage, which led to the divorce, which led to him not having much, seems like it's more than just this decision making to go on the show.
Yeah, I definitely hear you. Jay, we're talking about Cisco, Tay situation. Obviously, NAEEM as well, you had a conversation with. I want to get your thoughts on that situation. How did you see it?
It's me not putting unmute. I'm sorry. Yeah, on that situation, I'm hearing black or whatever, and I'm gonna say this, like, for NAEEM, I get what you're saying. Like, a friend will hold a friend accountable, but NAEEM don't know that man. So for the capacity of the relationship that they have, I think NAEEM did a very good job. You know what I'm saying? He still held some accountability. He has to walk delicately because he don't really know him to know what to hold accountable with him about. But he did say, hey, you got to let that lady, those are all that stay here. You got to let that lady do her process and stuff like that. You got to give her space, and it's okay. Like he letting him know that it's okay to be okay with her having to decide what she gonna do. So I think NAEEM did a very good job in that moment. I'm with you 100%. Is he got to hold himself accountable. You can't sit here and keep trying to unload this story to everybody and hope that you just get sympathy and pity points from everybody. This is time to hear yourself as you're telling yourself this story and say, you know what, I need to fix my stuff up. Because when I'm sitting in the shame or whatever and stuff like that, I need to be making a plan. How do I get out of this shame? I don't like the space that I am. So what am I going to do to get out of this space? And so that's where we need to be at with him. I do feel like for the reasons that it sounds like he's almost heading to a dark space. He shouldn't be on the show other than these reasons that we already know. because the last thing you need to do is be rejected, and then you feel some type of way and you do harm to yourself. So before that happens, you know, just be in a space where you're actually comfortable with yourself, and he's not comfortable with himself, and he shouldn't be. I agree, he shouldn't be. So he needs to like go ahead, just sit on the bench for a minute. And like I said last night, had he been like at home and just chilling, and a woman walked into his life and he told that woman, like he's not actively pursuing, but a woman just walked into his life and he tells this woman that story and she wants to deal with it, that's all by all means fine. But like coming onto this show and all this stuff like that, I know people don't have their stuff together when I get ready to say what I'm about to say. I know everybody don't have all their stuff together like that, but you're in a deficit right now, Cisco. Like you're in a major deficit because you don't have enough stuff for yourself to even to think about whining and dining and catering to somebody else, you know, somebody else. So at this point, I don't even know how he got past all of this, but you know, the production like chaos. So here we are, you know what I'm saying? And this is what it is, but he probably should have really set this one all the way out, worked on his plan on getting his stuff together. And, you know, we got friends like this. I had to be in a position like this before. It was just like, I don't want to date nobody because I don't have a place to bring them to. You know what I'm saying? As a grown person, I lost my place and all this stuff like that. So it does feel some type of way. And it's just like, I don't want to date nobody. And granted, you do meet people from time to time, but it's just like, yeah, I don't want to go out. I don't want to do nothing. I got things to do. Money is on my mind right now. I'm dating money. So until I get money up, I can't talk to you, you know? So I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was a good talk. And I do agree, my last thoughts, I do agree with you, Black. Our men need to have more of these conversations. They need to be more vulnerable with each other and be a safe space to each other. So that's why I said I'm not going to hold NAEEM too much. I know he's not real boys with him, so he did the best he could for him. But I need men to do that more and hold the men accountable when they see them slacking and falling off.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Jay. I think it depends on the man. So for me, I think the type of man that I am, I won't want that fake interaction. Don't come to me and say, you know, you understand and I'm going to be okay, things are going to be all right, if you start coming from a real place. Now, I definitely understand that they're not the best of friends. I mean, they don't know each other well enough to be friends. But I'm just saying that the accountability, I won't say that it will be Naeem's job to do that, but don't do what he did. I would prefer him do the other way than what he did, because what it's doing is just saying that it's going to be okay, it's going to be all right, which we already know that's going to be the case. But it's more of a, okay, Cisco, you got yourself in these particular predicaments. What he told us, what he told the cameras, was enough for me to say, hey, you know, dig a little bit more into the what is, what, you know, whatever, because Naeem also portrayed it to seem like he's a good guy. This man is a good man. So he said he knows him well enough to give him that type of a characteristic, of a judgment. So it's like, we don't really know the details of their friendship, but for me, I think it's more of a me thing. I'll be honest with you guys. It's more of a me thing. I think we have to hold each other more accountable, not just for the positive things, but also for the negative as well, or things that we can work on. Somebody needs to be called out on those things. So that's the piece that I was kind of missing, is to call out, because he has Tay feeling sorry for him and rekindling things, and then he has Naeem saying everything's going to be okay. Okay, at what point do you change your behavior? Because to me, again, it's a me thing. A man who does not get along with his mother, I do understand that happens, but to add to that divorce, it gives a communication issue. It gives a relationship issue building, the ability to build relationships. It gives that type of an issue to me. So it's just speaking red flag. So that's why I said the things I say, because if he wants to be upheld, then he has to hold himself accountable. Now, there was none of that in the production. You know, we all know that they edit and cut things out. So he may have gone into detail about the things he's working on to get to where he is. I was trying to remember what his occupation is. If you guys remember what it is, let me know. I'm trying to see, how is he building? Because it can be difficult. It can be difficult to build when you're living in a room, because the rooms can be very expensive depending upon what room you're getting into. So it's like, it can be tough for him, but okay, what are you doing? That would make me understand Cisco the man more, than what he's just talking about. That's it.
Yeah, I dig it. I think it was Housing Authority or something. What is it, El said that he's into? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he works at the Philly Housing Authority.
Yeah, and the reason I'm saying that, and I agree with you, Black, but still, how he's speaking, he's has stepped away from a dark space. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want to be the one to totally push him over. So it's a delicate speech that you do have to give on holding a person accountable, as you know their story. But I do agree that, you know, production could have cut a lot of stuff out. NAEEM could have asked him, hey, what's your plan? What do you have some plans? Maybe even offer him a job. We don't never know and stuff like that. I might be giving NAEEM way more credit. I don't really know. I would hope he, you know, did go. I'm more male-minded when it comes to solution-based. Like, let's get to a solution. How do we fix your problem? You know, you start telling me your problem, I'm trying to fix it. So I hope that's where it got to, some of the kind of that conversation and stuff like that. El said, you can have your doubts all you want, you know what I'm saying? But I hope, I said, all right, I'm not going to doubt. I hope that he got somewhere or something was said to make him think, let me get my stuff together. I really thought he was going to check himself out of the show. That's what I thought was, and I thought that was a good thing. That's what I actually thought that a conversation was going to, is like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and check myself up out of here. The next thing you know, he was talking to Ted again, and she was like, I'll take you back. So I was like, oh, damn. So we got to stop doing that, ladies, too. We got to stop being Tay sometimes.
And what's going to I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this real quick. What's going to be interesting is when the ladies deliberate, if this information comes out. If Tay's going to be the one to tell everyone this, that's going to be the determining factor whether he stays another week or not.
I was going to say, if I was NAEEM, I would not give him a solution in this setting. He is my competition. The ladies will vote him out, and I will stay another 2 weeks in this setting.
No. Not the. Don't hear me out. I'm gonna let you finish. I said not the solution on how to get through this process with the ladies and none of that stuff. I'm talking about a solution for life, like how to get your stuff back on track. That's what I mean. My bad.
Okay, because I was like, sometimes I too forget that Ready to Love is a competition, and you know, while we want to be all nice and roses at times, I don't think people are here for that. My thing is, I want to know who on production convinced this man it was a good idea for him to be on television with his circumstances. Who did that? Because he had to have known that he would be the talk of the town at least for 1 week. He had to have known he's going to be dragged through the YouTube streets and the social media streets. So whoever convinced him to be on this show, first of all, they I don't know if production probably gonna think they deserve a raise or something, but they should have just left him where he was. I'm sorry.
I mean, listen, I think the situation with Cisco, you know, I think we were having a really good conversation about accountability and where one needs to be. I think for us as men specifically, I just know how difficult it is, you know, in terms of being motivated to want to properly date when you know that you've got your financial circumstances, you know? And I think that the other hard part about that, it's not necessarily if you don't even have this financial circumstances, if you don't have a plan, that's the one that really kills you. So like, if you haven't got your money in order, it's like, you'll be okay if you know you have a plan. And because one of the hardest things for men, and I think this is why it's a great conversation that Black's brought up, and I think the men talking about this is really important, is that the hardest thing for us as men is when you know that you're not in your best position, but you also don't have a vehicle to get to where you need to get to. And when I say vehicle, I don't mean actual vehicle. I mean, you don't have something that's going to get you to that step that you want to get to, where you can feel more comfortable. And that's what I was listening for with Cisco. I was kind of waiting for that moment to drop. And it may be a double standard that men don't get the opportunity to be whining and whinging, but maybe this wasn't the place to start whining and whinging because we're on a dating show. You know what I'm saying to you? Had this been a deep men's conversation and it was a podcast and he was dropping these thoughts, I'd have been like, you know what? Let's really support him. Let's encourage him. Let's really hear him out. But he's on a dating show. He put himself, I mean, they might have chosen him, but he put himself forward. You know what I'm saying to you? And therefore, the vehicle going forward, if the show is your vehicle, then I need you to stand strong, because you telling us a story ain't helping nothing. I'm going to look at you differently. Number two, when you don't have that plan to get to where you want to get to, the vision means the vision is cut. You cannot see where you're going to. And that is actually where the disheartening comes from for men. That's actually the bigger issue. So, like, for instance, when you have men that are, quote unquote, they might be jealous of another woman, it's not just that. It's the fact they have no vision. And if you have no vision to see how you're going to get there, you don't have the steps of how you're going to get there, the frustration spills over. And that's why, as a man, that there's a period of time like where you're like, you need to go in deep, go into your cave and just be like, I need a plan. I need a plan so that I can feel confident about, even if I'm not making it now, the way that I talk, you will hear that I don't care if I'm not there yet because I know where I'm going. And I think that's the hardest thing for us men is when you don't have that plan because you don't know where you're going. You know where you want to go, but you don't have it. So that's where the issue can be. Someone said the show can't be his plan. Well, if he has plans to be on TV and be a star, then you hold it down. Don't give me a sad story. Hold it down. Be like, look, I've already got my plan sorted. I know where I'm going to. I know how I'm getting there. You know what I'm saying to you? And, you know, you might have to say a little bit of a lie like, hey, it doesn't matter what the show does. I know where I'm going to after this. That tells me you're confident. And that's why I'm saying that I said this about women too, like not necessarily in terms of finances, but sometimes when you know they're not ready for something, right? Cisco isn't ready. And you can see that because outwardly he looks good. He's adorned. But inwardly, there's a need for work inside. You get what I'm saying to you? There's a need for work to say, this is where I'm going to. And he may not have all his plans in order, we understand, but have something that's going to get you going there, you know, a vehicle. You know, so yeah, I don't know if Sean wants to tap into that, and then Black will probably jump in that as well. But what was your thoughts on Sean? Because I know Sean be you know, he's like myself and Black. He definitely would want a man with a plan. He don't like basement dwellers. So, yeah, Sean.
You're funny. Yeah, no, I think it was irresponsible of him to come on the show in this, you know, in this circumstance. Now, maybe when he signed up for the process, he might have, you know, this just might be something new that happened. But I think he would have needed to bow out. And you know, other than everything else that everybody else added from a plan perspective, I think you definitely have to have a plan. And, you know, seriously dating somebody is shouldn't be on your list of priorities. It should be figuring out what you're gonna do, how you're going to navigate out of that particular, you know, scenario. There should be no shame, but you also shouldn't be selfish enough to go into a dating scenario, especially this is ready for love. So you want to embark on a serious relationship, right? That could potentially lead to marriage. You don't have anything to offer. And I think it's selfish. And unfortunately, as harsh as that may sound to some, you know, I think that a lot of people approach dating from a selfish perspective. I want love. I deserve to be loved. I deserve to be in a relationship. But what are you bringing to the table? What are you bringing to that other person? And you don't have some of the major components to offer. He's not even emotionally stable because he couldn't even take Tay's, you know, rejection to that extent of saying, hey, listen, this is not something I want. He's, you know, all broken up about that from somebody that he just met. He should be like, hey, listen, I get it. My circumstances aren't ideal. If you're gonna even put yourself out there in a not so ideal situation, to just be like, you know what? I get it. I gotta brush myself off and keep it moving. But to be all upset, you can't be upset. You're not, or what are you gonna offer her? She's gonna have to now take care of you. Very unfair, unbalanced, and I think it's very selfish. So he needs to get some healing. You know, he needs to sort through his issues, how he landed in that spot. Sounded like this isn't the first time, because when he was explaining his story to NAEEM, he mentioned like this isn't his first go round. He's been here before. You know, not his first time at, you know, dealing with these circumstances. Hence his mom is like, bro, you're 40, son, you're 40. Like, I need you to man up. I need you to, you know, to grow up. I can help you, but how many times are we going to go around this merry-go-round? You got to figure things out. So he's focused on all the wrong things and focused on himself. So I think his behavior is very selfish, and it's a red flag. I wish him well. You know, I think he needs to really hone in and sit down and spend some time by himself. And I'll land with saying, I think a lot of times people get so overly focused on a relationship and feeling like that's going to be the be all end all, when you're just taking your issues You're just picking them up and you're dropping them off on the next spot because you're just so wanting to not to be alone and you're so scared of being by yourself. He needs to spend some serious quality time by himself, figure things out, sort through it, and then he'll be a better person and a partner to to whomever, he chooses next.
Yeah, there's definitely a level of immaturity that I'm seeing from Cisco. It's this is a big point I want to make. A lot of times when we're dating, we can see and spot red flags in other people. Okay, so sometimes a lot of people can't do that, and it's okay. You have to be able to be self-aware and all of that, as well as spotting red flags within self. That's even more difficult for people to spot, for people to see. He could not understand why, after being vulnerable, he wanted the credit for vulnerability from Tay, but he couldn't understand why she would be standoffish or why that would be alarming to her. And that's the problem for me. The immaturity, the need for help, the second time around, or just happening more than one time, it's saying I need help to get to where I need to be. Maybe that's why he's on the show. Also, I thought about the fact that I think the contestants get paid to be on the show. Maybe that's another additional funds and check, he can add on. So I get that aspect as well. But it's the kind of show that it is. If it was a show on construction, it'll be something different. But if it's a dating show and you're on here, portraying to be like a guy who's looking for a woman that is going to so they can add value into that world, and you don't have the value. I can't say you don't have the value. I don't want to be that tough on them, but I want to say it's a lot. It's a lot to unpack with Cisco. So I just really do hope that he gets the help that he needs. I hope he finds it within himself, because that's even more rewarding when you're able to do it for yourself. But good luck to Cisco. That's all I'll say. Good luck to Cisco.
The sad truth about this type of situation right here is that people don't think it, because it's not a mental issue, that you need some type of therapy or anything like that to help get it fixed, or, talk to somebody really to figure out. But sometimes you need to just sit down with somebody that is kind of like in a position you want to be in at the least, and figure out, how do we get myself on track? You know what I'm saying? As well as possibly, I'm not gonna say possibly for the most part, but as well as therapy. It's a few conversations that need to be had, but a lot of times we just fall on hard times as Black people and just be like, oh, I'm just on hard times. It'll work itself out. And if you're into God will work it out and stuff like that. We don't really think about actually sitting down, talking to people and sitting with somebody that has a game plan idea for you that can, or at least help you extract that game plan out of your head with you. It's wild, but we need to do more of that as well. It's just like, I'm in a rut. Who trying to help me for real? Let me talk to that person. Let me sit down with that person and figure it out. I mean, even with the YouTube thing, Coach, I come to him like, hey, what I got to do? You making it, let me figure out what I need to do. Sometimes you got to sit in a room with some millionaires and talk to them, figure some things out. So you got to open your horizons and open your mouth. Closed mouths don't get fed. So you can't just be looking at everybody saying, oh, they got it. They got it. I'm just on hard times right now. Go get your shit together. Excuse my French. Figure it out. Figure it out.
And I know we're being harsh on the not even saying harsh, but I think we need to be not harsh, but I think it needs to be direct information. The world is not fair. it's not fair, and there are double standards, and it is what it is. It's never going to change, right? That is the unfortunate but fortunate weight of being a leader. And I'm not saying that he has to be a millionaire. We're not saying that at all. I think it's the way he spoke that was concerning, I think, for us as men and the ladies on the panel too. It's not that it's not the fact he was in a room. That's actually what I was concerned about. It's the fact that he seemed like he was broken by the room, rather than looking like, you know what, I'm in the room temporary. I'm getting my stuff together. I got my plan together. I'm going here. Like, when someone is already moving, they talk with a different kind of energy. Do you see what I'm saying to you? Right? They talk with a different kind of energy. They know they're going somewhere. Like, so they know they're gonna get to that place. So when they're talking about, oh, right now, yes, listen, right now, look, I've got my job that I'm doing. I'm in the room right now. I had to rent out, but look, I already know where I'm going to. So the room is temporary for me. You know what I'm saying to you? I'm trying to save some money, get this locked. I'm going somewhere. So that is very different to what he presented to us. What he presented was almost asking for a sympathy vote. And unfortunately, amongst men, there is no sympathy vote because no one's coming to save you. Okay? No one's coming to save you. And I'm very much aware that women may have the same issues, but I'm saying for us as men specifically, you are going to be judged for what you choose to do. I think this goes back to what Black was really saying. You're going to be judged for this. So it's not that you can't have a moment. And it's not that we don't want him to be vulnerable. Because I don't want anyone who's a man listening to thinking to himself that there's no space for. No, he should be able to be vulnerable and open. What I'm saying that is he's on you have to consider the context. Now, no one's ever said this in the chat, but I want to make it very clear because I'm not sure some people might watch the replay and may get a wrong idea. And I want men to understand this. Context is everything. This is not a podcast. This is not a conversation with your boys. This is a dating show that you volunteered for. So at that point, you are saying you are ready, but you are telling us you're not ready. And your attitude is telling me you're not ready. So it's not that he doesn't even have the money. It's also the fact that he has a mindset that is incongruent with going where he's going to. At that point, what does a woman have to buy into? Do you see what I'm saying to you? I'm not saying be Bill Gates. I'm not saying be a millionaire. I'm saying to you, you're a visionary and you're confident in where you're going. It will come across in what you speak. Instead of you putting a piece of paper in front of your eyes and almost looking like you're pretending like you're crying and looking for the sympathy vote, I'm not really here for it. You know what I'm saying, Chu? And maybe that's me being a bit of an avoidant. I'm not here for it. I need you to get a plan together because you said you're ready to date. That's all. Yes, El said.
While I appreciate the sentiment in which you're saying that, if he had come forward exactly like that with confidence, he might have been torn down more. It's like, why you got all this confidence and saying it with your chest and you're just living in a room with no car? I mean, it's a catch-22, how he presents. Now, this way he presented, I didn't like it because it was manipulating Tay. It was kind of trying to get under her skin. Yes, he may not like his circumstances, but we understand why. It's a result of a divorce. Now, we understand why Virginia wanted that prenup, but anyway, it's a result of a divorce. Now, for any of the ladies, you need to dive into that divorce. What does it say? What does it say financially that he may be responsible for? He may be in that room because he got to pay alimony. We don't know. He got to pay child support. We don't know. So while the room and the car is one thing, it's indicative of maybe he has other financial responsibilities. And I'm sorry, even if he didn't have all of that, the fact that his mother wants nothing to do with him, completely done. Sorry. Even if he had a house and car, your mother want nothing to do with you? Yeah, I'm gonna look at you sideways.
Yeah, I know the big thing was why their production allows Cisco to be on the show. Well, because let's be honest about it, Cisco is the type of guy that most women would normally go for, when it comes to looks. And looks is a big part of the show, so they put that before anything. Is just my thoughts on that. As far as what you were saying about Cisco's, Elsie, I see where you're coming from, especially with the mother situation, because I just don't get that. But this being his second time around, that's the thing that got me. Okay, what happened the first time? Like right now, we can say it's a divorce. We can say it could be alimony. We can say it could be child support. But if that was the first time, what caused that first time? So that's the big question mark as well. And what didn't you learn the first time that you let happen the second time? Was it a different circumstance or the same circumstance? We don't know. Like you said, a lot of holes need to be filled in when it comes to this. So it's definitely a deeper conversation.
Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, I would just say too, like having a plan is great, but people don't know you. You're coming into a brand new space. I don't think he should be on. He should be focused on dating at all. Nobody, because that's too much faith to a stranger. A plan is great when you're already cemented in a relationship, and I've seen the evidence of the things that you say. But anybody can, put words together and make a plan. But that doesn't mean that they have the ability to make it happen, and that is putting that other person at a disadvantage. So that's why I think, like, forget I mean, he should have a plan for himself, but it shouldn't be to sell himself to someone else about what he's going to do. He needs to be singularly focused. When you falling on hard times, you can't be in a relationship because you have to get out of that situation, and a relationship requires you, especially one that is focused on love, which this show is about, right? It's serious, solid relationship. That is you pouring into yourself. Love is a self-sacrificing. Love is being able to pour into someone, to be able to give some things. When you don't have anything to give, like that cliche, those you can't pour from an empty cup. He doesn't have anything to give to anyone else. You get what I mean? And it's not like he's worthless. He has worth, but he has to find himself, find his true value outside of a relationship, a romantic one, and get himself together. No 10-point plan, no business plan, no 30, 60, 90 business plan is going to help him because he doesn't have anything to give anyone else. And that's why I go back to my original. It's selfish. People don't they think selfish and they think, oh, I'm just being mean and rude and I don't care about anybody else. No, it's when you are just elevating your needs so far above anyone else, and you're not being considerate of that other person and thinking about, when you love somebody, you think about, how do my actions impact them? How is what I'm going through at the very moment going to impact that person? His financial situation and where he is going to be very impactful to the woman that may choose to be in a relationship with him. That is going to cause an overburden to her from the very onset. And that is unfair, and it's selfish of him to think that someone should do that. Because of why? What does he have to offer that person? Like, I just think, like, forget all of that stuff. Like, he should not be on this show. He shouldn't be here, period. He deserves to be, he deserves to figure things out. He's probably a nice person, all of that. But he doesn't deserve to be in this space because he's going to take away. Anytime he's in a situation, he's a sponge that's just absorbing and taking away from someone else. And it's harsh, but that's how I feel.
No, you on point, Sean. And let me add to what I was saying about the plan. It should already be in motion. That's what I mean. I should have said that rather than just have a plan. So I think you're right. That correction is important. Correction that you've added there. That just having a plan, it's like saying having potential, right? I mean, actually, technically, the word actual potential actually is that you've already started in motion. We use potential wrongly, but potential in a sense of, like, he should already be in the motion of moving forward. That's what gives the man confidence. It's like, I'm already seeing some fruits to my labor. I am not exactly where I need to be, but I'm already seeing fruits to my labor. Like, so to make it very, very clear, you're right. Like, so having a plan, I want to start a YouTube, but I haven't started it. I don't have a plan. My plan is, in the next 60 days, I'm going to put this, and this. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And especially if you haven't got a history of doing those things, then it can be very difficult. Yes, I think you're right in that added evaluation of what you said, is that in that space, for me personally, there should be forward movement already. There is already some aspect of you moving in that plan. You're starting to already start to see some of it working. It doesn't have to be successful all the way, but it's already moving. That you speak differently when you're in that space than when you haven't done anything or when you're not doing anything. And that's my thing, is it's a mindset issue. It's not a money issue, because the money if someone who has a mindset issue, they can go and get the money again. And you can trust somebody who has a mindset. You can't trust someone just because they have money. You know what I'm saying to you? Because you can be bad with money. So the mindset is what's really important here, and what he feels about himself, about how he banks on himself and what he does. That energy carries itself forward. And so you're absolutely right. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying, yes, just having a plan is not enough. I think it should be in motion. You've put things in motion. You've already had your YouTube set up. You already have videos already going up. It's just not hitting just yet, but you're already in motion. Do you know what I'm saying to you? And you are determined. That's different. That you will speak from a different place because you know, bro, I'm at it. I'm on the races. I'm going to get it, bro. And I'm moving with it. And I have belief in that. And I think that's different to what we saw with Cisco. So I definitely hear what you're saying about that, Sean. I think you're making some good points in that as well. Life or reality, and then we'll get to let Black speak on and see. We'll go to the next top. Yes, life or reality.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Making my debut so late in the season, but it is what it is. Yeah, I agree with mostly what's been said. To me, Cisco shouldn't really be on the show, but I think he probably got elevated up there due to eye candy potential, and definitely disregarding his personal circumstances, not putting that as a priority. He's in a tough situation. He shouldn't really be there. He's not ready to love, and that's what the premise of the show is. If he does meet someone and make it to the end, and they have to go into that real world situation where they're dating and all of that, how is that going to work? Yes, he has a job, but he's not in a stable place financially and with his home situation. So he shouldn't really be there. And to be fair, NAEEM is, he has a job, he has a career and everything. But in his personal situation, he also shouldn't be there. But that's another situation. The thing with Cisco is he's able to make connections instantly. A lot of women were attracted to him and everything. I don't see him lasting too long. I think it will get back to the ladies. They will probably vote him off because of that. In this day and age, your financial status, your stability is very important to your dating experience and what you can provide for your partner when you do eventually lock one down. So as articulate as he may come across, as charismatic or attractive or whatever, the downside is too heavy. It's not in his favor. And it's typical of Ready to Love. They usually cast someone who is eye candy value but doesn't have their stuff together completely. And they're probably banking on the fact that one of the ladies going to be down for some struggle love. And that's unfortunate, So I think he definitely is working on something. He has a job, but he's just not the close enough to be in a finished article to be on the show. That would be my fair assessment of his situation.
Appreciate that. All right, let's shift it then, because I think we did some justice to Cisco. If he watches this, he gonna be wondering why we spoke for almost an hour about his situation. But it was good. It was good. It was needed because I think it's important to talk about this when we're talking about dating and helping other men as well understand. Like it, I really appreciate the men speaking about this because I think it's important that we discuss such issues in this particular way. You know what I mean? Not to be hard on anybody, but to be Go for it, Sean. You want to say something?
I did want to end on a positive note. I mean, I do respect him for being vulnerable and also transparent very early on in the dating process. So, that is a bare minimum. But I mean, sometimes people can be deceptive about where they are and misrepresent themselves. So I am glad that he was upfront with it. I hope it wasn't a ploy for manipulation, but, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that and say that, he at least is being very transparent. So I think that that's good. That's very good that he, led with whatever was going on. So if there is any indicator that there's hope for him to, elevate out of the situation he's currently in, it's that he was transparent about it.
100%. All right, let's watch a little bit of a clip and we will ask your thoughts on this.
I would like to explore that and see what happens.
But wait, did you see this over here?
I see you deeper than you realize. 100%.
All righty. So, Coley situation with Eddie. I want to know you guys' thoughts. I mean, I've spoken quite at length of that, so I won't talk too much on that as well. But I think the Eddie and the Coley situation was quite interesting. We saw that she tried to kiss him and got rejected. Unfortunately, she started getting angry as she got rejected from that situation. I want to know your thoughts on Coley and Eddie. How did you perceive it? What did you see? What were some of the gems that we maybe have missed watching it that you kind of picked up from seeing in that particular place as well? Who would like to go first on this one? Master Black, open us up. I know you got a sensible take. The rest of them are not sensible.
So what I gather from Coley in this situation, she did not like the rejection. That's one, but also she's not used to rejection. She gives off a vibe that she doesn't get rejected, and it was eye-opening for her to go through that because she dictates the speed of things when she's interacting with men. That's just how it comes off to me. I'm not saying I'm right and I'm saying I'm wrong. It's just how it comes off to me. She was a bit pushy with it. I think that man or woman, if someone says no, you have to respect it. First and foremost, you have to respect the word no. It is a complete sentence. So for her to kind of be pushy with it and then get an attitude because things don't go her way, I just think about how this would have been if the roles were reversed and it was a man who did this to a woman and he got up and walked away. We have to look at it as both in the same sense. It was very immature of her to behave that way. I think that Eddie saw that. I think it is just about looks. I think he mentioned that in the show that it was just her looks because she isn't bringing much more to the table. Her, I'm not saying that she's not educated. I'm not saying that she can't hold a conversation, but she's yet to show me either in throughout her duration on the show so far. I understand that she thinks that Eddie's attractive. I think that her sense of wanting to be with him at first sight, I get it. But you hear these stories from my grandparents, you know, how I knew when I first laid eyes on you, you were the one. Nowadays, it can happen, but it's just a little bit less likely to happen that way. And obviously, she saw something in him that he didn't see in her, because usually when that happens, both people are on the same page. They both see each other. They both have that ooh-wah feeling, and then they move forward from there. But she didn't first see if Eddie felt that way about her. So to me, I think that there's a need for her, a need to be associated with a man or a certain type of man for her to move as fast as she's moving and wanting to move with him. It's you wouldn't think it, but kind of a little bit of a desperation move for her to say that when I first saw you, I would have just left the show with you right then and there based off looks alone. So it's not much depth there, is what I'm saying. So that's all.
Thank you for that good strong start. Sean, what's your thoughts on Coley and Eddie's situation?
Yeah, I think she was loose off the goose, so we can blame it on alcohol a little bit too. I also think that she overplayed her hand, and I think this just, it also goes back to what we said about her early on. I wanted to, give her some grace, but it just seems more and more like beautiful gowns, and she just really seems to be in the clouds, very much a cloud dweller. And why are you gonna lay a kiss on this guy so early on in the process in a very public space? I'm I'm even thinking that maybe if this was a one-on-one date, that Eddie might have been more open to kiss her if she wanted to kiss. But like we're at a very public thing with multiple of our interests. They don't want to see you kissing. You're, it's like she was laying her claim on him. And I think it was very territorial, and she misapplied it. And kudos to Eddie for handling it with grace. You know, he didn't mush her, you know, put his hand up and was like bounce. But you know, he just said, this is, you know, no, no, no. She was like crawling all up on him like a panther. I was really concerned for her. Like outside, he's sitting on the step and she's like crawling up his leg like a stray alley cat. So I'm not sure what and how she thought that was going to work, especially there's so many other people. What about the other guys that you're interested in? If there was any other guy that she remotely had a connection in, that's dead. I see you doing that so publicly, it's done. You're done. Like that's, you know, like why are you like you have no self-control. So sorry, she deserves to be in the bottom, you know, where she landed. And I think that behavior, she needs to really sit and realize what was I thinking? Why do I let myself, if it was the, you know, the drinks that were flowing, you know, if that's what it was, she has to get better control of herself so that she don't, you know, make bad decisions. And if it wasn't that, then she needs to assess why she thought that that was the right time to be engaging in some kiss so publicly with somebody that you're just getting to know.
Thank you. Life of reality.
Yeah, I definitely think that was Coley trying to mark her territory. Is a very forward and bold move in front of everybody to try and, you know, lock down Eddie to some capacity and, you know, kind of taint him. You know, once if that kiss had ever been agreed to, that would have tainted his chances going forward and potentially put him in a bind with other ladies that he may have a connection with. So I think he made a very smart decision, a very composed decision, and probably the best business decision at the time, and handled it with grace and, you know, wasn't offensive or disrespectful, just politely declined it. She hasn't been good at handling rejection so far from what we've seen, because she's been in the bottom before and she wasn't happy about that. But it's actually part of the process, you know, and this is also character building as well. Like if things don't go your way, do you throw a tantrum? Do you throw a strop? Or do you just pull yourself up and, you know, go again? So yeah, she may have been inebriated. But again, that I agree with Sean there. That's self-regulation. Maybe she needed that Dutch courage, or you know, because the other ladies weren't under the influence or anything. They seemed to be just observing and watching everything, and none of the guys seemed to be, you know, under the influence of anything. So she may have just maybe self-indulged, and then decided to pluck up the courage and make a move. And she shot her shot, and you know, it just didn't go her way. Now, just as much of the ladies were watching that, I'm sure some of the guys might have seen that too. So it just didn't look good. It doesn't look good for Coley going forward. Having been down in the bottom already, this kind of adds to why, you know, the guys aren't feeling her, in my opinion.
Thank you very much. Seaway, what's the thoughts to this Coley and Eddie situation?
I don't have a different take, so I don't want to just repeat the same thing everyone is saying.
It's okay to repeat. Go for it, Seaway.
I hate when we do that, so I'll be trying not to do that. But no, I definitely feel like, you know, what I will say is that if she has a drinking problem, she should address that. Because I didn't see nobody else drunk there but her. That was the only thing that threw me off. She's a small woman, so maybe she gets lit a little faster. But she was the only one that was lit out of everybody there. I mean, even what's his face wasn't lit. So that's what took me a minute to try to figure out what was going on with her, because she was the only one that was lit. So that's a bit of a red flag. But other than that, I mean, you can't blame her for shooting her shot. Y'all know I'm not big on women shooting their shot. I preach that on this channel all the time. I feel like you should always, you know, play your position, be laid back in the cut, try to observe. But she shot her shot to see if she could try to mark him. And he, you know, very professionally, very classy boots like, you know, was like, "No, you know, can't mark me today, ma'am." And he wasn't mean about it. He just was like, "No, this is not the appropriate time." I thought he was very classy how he handled it. She was very drunk and kind of sloppy how she went about it. And it just is what it is. It's a failed mission for her, kind of a dummy mission that she went on. And it just didn't work out. So not gonna judge her. Not gonna judge her, not gonna pass judgment. We all get lit, but she has to keep in mind that she's getting lit on national TV, and you know, that's her name, and you know, whatever she got going on. And if you get lit with courage, you know, this is kind of this is kind of the consequences of that. So, and she's probably also used to being a very pretty girl. But one thing that gets her way, but one thing I will say about Ready to Love, people like Coley don't seem to do well on this show. There's a lot of shows that they would do well on. Ready to Love is just not one of those shows. It seems like Substance does a lot better on Ready to Love, in my opinion. So I think she probably thought that she was going to get a little bit more privileges, a little bit more passes because of the way she thinks she looks and things like that. She's thin, you know, petite, you know, everything she got going for her. But I think her airheadedness in the clouds, whatever she got, you know, to her, it's not going over well on Ready to Love. So that's my opinion.
Oh, Sid, talk to me.
So I'll judge her. The fact is, she missed the signs. He gave her quite a number of signs that he was not going to entertain her further. She was talking, she was laying back on him, then she just proceeds to rub on his beard. He's looking away. She just missed all kinds of clues, whether it's alcohol, whether it's something else. She was not reading the signs that the gentleman was telling her, this ain't it, this ain't it. Would Eddie have kissed her away from the barbecue? Maybe, but I don't know. We already knew that she told his business at the table about the passing of his family member. So I don't know if Eddie's feeling her as much as she may hope, but it's definitely in poor taste. You have other connections there too. The man will be judging you and the woman will be judging him based on that behavior or that decision. Just like they would Shanice with kissing Fritz. In this case, Fritz was welcoming the gesture, but she did not notice the cues he was giving her, and he had to tell her flat out, no, we're not going to do this, and we're not going to do this here. It for me, I like that he set his boundary. I like that he said it to her. I'm glad she accepted it and walked on away. But again, Eddie could have been scared because she was ready to jump at Tommy on that first mixer when she was on the bottom. So, kudos to Eddie for sticking up for himself. But I don't know. I don't know what she will tell the other girls because it's giving me she's going to talk about him to the other girls and try and taint that well against him. But I don't know.
Obviously, exploring the fact that obviously she was rejected and she had a very bad reaction as well. What are we taking from that aspect of things? Because this is the second time we've seen her take rejection really, really badly. So what do we have to take? What do we make out from that aspect in terms of her way of handling rejection in this way? The first time it was just because obviously people didn't really take to her in the group setting. Now it is to do with the fact that she tried to kiss somebody and they ain't on it. You know what I'm saying? She's quite fiery the first time and the second time. So what do we really take from that in that aspect? I know Blackie kind of touched on it a little bit. I don't know if you want to expand a little bit more on that. How are you viewing that in terms of someone being so, how do I say, bad at taking rejection in that sense?
Yeah, I think it's really frustrating for her, because I don't think she understands the why. The why of the rejection. Same thing with Sahara as well. But, just not understanding the why can be damaging to her mental, because she's being told that she's a pretty girl. She's been told that, nice body, whatever positive things that she's been told. So because those things aren't coming together, And when she's trying to pursue a successful relationship, it's not coming together for her. So she's not understanding the why, which to me, I think just boils down to that. Just that. That's all.
I don't think women take rejection well. I mean, again, I hate citing Pop the Balloon as an example, but I think the men in Pop the Balloon always take the rejection way better than the women take the rejection. I think women want to argue, want to go back and forth because they're not trained, accustomed, you know, it's not normal for women to take rejection. Women are taught that we're all beautiful, every body type is wonderful, every personality is wonderful. And that is the reason why, you know, not saying I loved his methods, but that's the reason why Kevin Samuels got so much heat, is because he was one of the few people that would tell women, you know, hey, this ain't working for you. This is not good for you. That part of your personality, your lifestyle, your 5 billion kids, your body, your face, your hair, whatever it is, you know, women are not accustomed to that. You know, so because like even on this platform, we could talk about a man with ease, but as soon as we talk about one thing about a woman, people be ready to go up in arms. Also, because women's body looks is a lot more critiqued and it's more heavily important. You know, there's more priority on the external. Unfortunately for Coley, is that her rejection is not even external. Her rejection is really based on the internal, which may be even harder for a woman to kind of grasp, because it's like, you're telling me it has nothing to do with my body and my face. It's the fact that I'm empty. That's tough, because I think people are asking her to give something that she doesn't have. I think she really is a basic Betty. I think she actually lives in the clouds. I don't think this is an act. And I think it's kind of hard that people are saying like, hey, you're pretty and all, but you're not giving us nothing. And I don't really know what she's supposed to take with that feedback, because I think she's giving the best she has. And so that's kind of sad for her, to be honest. But yeah, no, I think women are just not used to rejection. And so it's always going to be harder for us, me included. I'm not saying I'm different. I'm just saying I think we as a collective, we're just not trained in that. So
That's a tough one, C-Way. I'm really happy you brought that up. I'm gonna say this real quick and I'm gonna let you guys go back. It's that balancing scale. You know, if she's been told all her life that about the positives, the pretty, the height, the body, whatever the case is, and then someone comes in and says, you know, it's more internal, and breaks that down for her, I don't think she's going to take it well. I agree with you. I don't think she's going to take it well, because that scale is tilted towards all that positive she's been hearing. So she's going to think it's an isolated situation when somebody really breaks it down to her. But I don't think the men are giving her that feedback at all. I don't think they're saying that you're not giving me anything intellectually, no conversation, none of that. I don't think that they're doing that. And I think they're just ghosting, and she's still left empty inside. So that's all. Go ahead.
Well, Seaway said the point that I was going to say, and I'll expand it a little deeper, is it triggers when you've probably been in a relationship and all you've had to offer is your looks, and that person is giving you, I want more. I need more. And in this setting, that's pretty much what all the guys are saying is, there's a lot of beautiful women here. What more can you give me that sets you apart from all of these women? And when you start realizing I don't really have much to offer you, it hits different. It hits like way different. So all I can do is throw my body at you. And then when you reject that, well, you're rejecting me because I have nothing else for you. And so that's where she's at. She's about to start crashing out, because in comparison to a lot of the other women's, she does lack substance, or she doesn't want to give it out for whatever reason and stuff. So I'll that'd be my nice side saying it. But in all reality, to me, she lacks substance. Because when we have to resort to trying to force myself upon a man, I don't have nothing else to offer you. That's my last thing. That is literally my last thing to give you. Like, I can't give you nothing about my background. I can't give you nothing about the last relationship that I was in. All I can give you is my body. I'm at my wit's end. So she's fighting for life right now, just trying to stay on, and we've seen how that goes. And I said it last night. I'm not about to let a man tell me no twice. When you reject me and you basically tell me to turn around, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn around and walk myself off before you sit here and tell me a second and a third time, get up off me. That is so embarrassing. So she could have did herself a favor, but I'm gonna say the jungle juice, that block party juice that was flowing out there, was a bit much for her. You know, she a little lightweight, she a little bitty thing. So, you know, she got to slow down on that. And second, last thought, ladies, please do not try to go in for a kiss or anything like this unless you are sure there is a connection there. That is the easiest way to get rejected real fast. Okay. We like to tell the men how they need to have consent too. Okay. Now we could talk about what's her name? That one that reached in with Fritz. We could talk about that, but there, she understood there was a little bit of something spark going there between them two. It was some look in the eye or something. But Coley, he ain't give you no kind of consent, ma'am. Just let it go. Just let it go. You could be on Me Too movement too, ma'am.
Yeah, I was just going to add also, I think she may have felt that when she opened up about her trauma on the last episode, and she kind of bonded with Eddie over that, she may have felt like there was a bit more of a connection formed from that moment. And that may have also affected her judgment in terms of going in and trying to lock him down publicly, or, you know, try and nail him as her solid connection. And, you know, I would say it's kind of a sensible strategy, because you've opened up, you shared some vulnerable moments, so you may think you're further ahead than you actually are. But yeah, it was misguided, and she just has to obviously just take it as a mature adult. He isn't where she is in terms of their connection, and it was a polite rejection. And, you know, the thing about it is, if you do it in public, then if it goes wrong, it's still in public. You can't now hide and take it back, or, you know, pretend it didn't happen as easily. So we'll see how she handles it going forward. But as I said, it's not looking good. Like, she's already been down in the bottom, and you know, the other ladies already saw it, and, you know, a few of them had something to say about it, about her being so forward at this stage. So looks can get you through the door, but it's, you know, the character nowadays that men are looking for as well, to see if you align on certain things, and she just isn't aligning. So you win some, you lose some.
Well, I remember when some people were being very dramatic in the comments, calling me evil when I said that her expression of emotion was a little inappropriate to me. But actually, JR, what you said is what I was trying to get at. She think that she had a connection with him because she aired out his trauma and started randomly crying in the middle of a picnic table. That wasn't connection to him. One, he was annoyed that she was talking about his, when in Rome, whatever. Y'all could think I was evil. I really don't give up. He was first thinking, why? I wasn't even talking about you. First of all, you wasn't even the one who said I was evil, but we can add you to it.
See, Wayne, leave it
no,
alone. Continue.
I wasn't even talking about her. She done added herself to the conversation. Addition. No, but what I was gonna say is that he didn't even appreciate being added to that type of situation. He didn't want his stuff aired out. And then when she started randomly crying, he didn't feel connected to her at all. So no, he did not feel connected at all. She was just crying at the table and he was just looking at her. So, but I don't think that she was aware of that, because I feel like her social meter is a little bit off. So she thought that was her way of expressing herself, but he was looking at her like, girl, y'all so funny in the comments. I know when Rome be trolling. I didn't think about that. So yeah, no, that's it. I just think Coley can't, like I don't want to say your name wrong. Miss Thomas, like Coley just can't read the room, and I think unfortunately for her, she thought that they had a connection, and they didn't. So.
Appreciate it. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? You don't have to all speak on
Why
it.
LC looking like she ready to climb under the table?
Not at all. I'm laughing. I am laughing.
Anyone else have any thoughts on that situation before we move on?
Did you cover Mr. Sebastian's homelessness?
You already covered it, baby. I'm so sorry. You missed out. And we covered it for about an hour and a bit. You done missed out. We went for an hour and a bit on that, brother.
Hour
You
on
missed
his
out.
homelessness? Oh Lord.
We went, yeah. We done covered it. Mm-hmm.
It was covered and recovered and dusted over.
Debt recovery, everything.
And a side men's panel. They had a side men's panel too.
All on his homelessness?
Hey.
He has a room. Stop calling that man unhoused. And his
Come on
name
now.
is Francisco. Not
Wait a minute.
Sebastian.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Not from Sean calling David a basement dweller. Now we have
Listen,
sympathy
if
and
you guys
compassion.
trying to make this whole math connection, Carla, David, get over it. Cut it out.
I was trying to get home, y'all, but y'all know I got a slightly potentially broken foot and I'm on a scooter. So I was at my friend's mercy about how quick I could get home. So I was trying to get home, child. But
Coach O, Seaway saying she has a doctor's note so she could please.
Yeah, I had a doctor. No, but if you guys covered it and recovered it and they covered it some more, I ain't trying to drag it.
That was the longest ever recovery we
If
had.
you just want to know the fact that Sean believes he has a room and David doesn't, that's all. You know.
Jay, please. They are getting on my nerves
They
with
said
this
he's
math
rude.
connection.
They said he's rude.
I mean, Sean was on David's ass. Like,
Hey, y'all, okay, can you humor me? Who was on whose side though? Is y'all all on his side?
All on the same side. All on the same side. We just said that it's not. It wasn't about necessarily about the homelessness. It was more about the mindset and the attitude, and not him being financially ready ready to date. That's what we're kind of talking about. So,
I agree with that. Okay, well, I doubt I have a different opinion. I was on Jay's live, and we all, me, her, El Cid, Miss Rhonda, we all pretty much said the same thing. So we wish him the best, but we don't trust him. That's the moral of the story. So
that's definitely what Sean said.
Amen.
That's definitely towards the end.
Okay, well, we're all on the same page.
We are a collective. Don't you worry about that. Let me read out the super chat. Shout out to Tevin Cotton. He says, shout outs to Eddie for setting boundaries and showing some respect for other women. Absolutely. And I appreciate, when it's golden, I got to play a little clip when it's golden. So let me play a little clip. I don't know why when I change my thing, it exits people from the stage, but hey ho, I'll bring them back up in a second.
Is yes, the new king.
Yeah, for some reason when I change the thingy, it does that. It exits people for some reason. Anyway, let's move it on then, and let me get that off the screen so you guys can actually be seen as well. Thank you very much for that as well. For the super chat as well, it's always appreciated. I'm seeing more and more men in these moments. I'm liking it. The man them. I'm really respecting it. So come through, Tevin, as well. We appreciate you. The more the merrier as well. All right, cool. So obviously we spoke about Eddie and Coley and their situation. We spoke about we spoke about Tay and also dealing with Cisco as well. Of course, I want to get Angie and Hussein. I don't have a thing for them, but we'll play a little clip for you guys so you can actually see it as well. So let me play a little clip for you guys. And we'll just have a little look at this. Oh, sounds off.
That's something I really thrive off, to be able to, introduce something new to a potential partner. You there?
I'm here.
Okay. So you're going to hear a lot of different instruments.
All right, so Angie and Hussein had a conversation. It seems like they've got a connection going as well. But they did say, obviously, as well that Angie had him a gift, and I wanted to know, is she doing too much? Because this is also in conjunction with the fact that she tried to give her she forwardly gave her number to Cam. She took her phone out of her bra area and was going to give her phone to Cam, and Cam said, "Put that away. I'm gonna take your number." You know what I'm saying to you? I mean, I'm sure you guys have probably said it before. What's our thoughts to Angie's forwardness? It seems to be very forward, very can feel a little bit pushy. I want to get your thoughts. Maybe I should get more of the ladies' thoughts on this first. How are we reading Angie at this point in time? How are we reading her at this point? Elsa, talk to me. How are we reading her perspective at this point?
Yeah, it's too much. She's doing a lot. It's a lot of, she's giving this man a gift. This is their first date together. He, of course, don't know it's gift giving. She's not letting him lead, letting him do what he does. That's why Cam had to tell her, pump the brakes, let me chase you. The other thing I was thinking with Angie, she may be on a faster clock in her mind because she lost her fiance before. So maybe the only grace I can give her is maybe she's like, don't waste a single moment, just jump right in. But she's got to pull it back a little bit, just a little bit. Let the men do, what they do first. But I'm thinking her loss is where she's kind of running full steam ahead.
Go for it, Seaway.
Somebody talking?
I thought it was Seaway, but she's on mute if she is.
Go ahead, Jay. Maybe Seaway needs a moment.
I know, pass, because my nephew is running crazy around me, so he's gonna be all in the background. Pass me for a second.
No, you're good. You're good. I'll let the man them go. Black, what's your thoughts?
Yeah. Okay. So for me, it was doing too much, and the reason why it was doing too much is because I'm just talking particularly about the gift idea, right? You don't know me that well, and I have a child, and you're gifting me something that you think my child would like, someone that you haven't met yet, someone that you don't know, someone that you know that I'm in a sensitive place right now because of the distance between myself and my child. I don't think that was the best gift to give. I think if she saw it, she can say, "Hey, I saw this at this store, and I think it'd be nice for your child." That's something from a father to a son. You can't really, in that heartfelt message that was on there, it's something that I would have wanted to buy myself, especially if the words really match how I felt. I think if it was a seasoned relationship, it may have come off differently. It could have been better. But for me, this soon, I think that was something that was inappropriate because of that. It can come off to be manipulative, even though her heart could be in the right place. So I'm not losing sight on that. But on the long term, when you're looking at a situation like this, I just want to make sure that you're not trying to get to me by playing on my heartstrings for my child, in my situation. So it can be a very slippery slope there. So I just don't think that this particular avenue that she's going down with the type of gift, who the gift was for, and knowing the backstory was the best idea to have at the time.
Yeah, go for it. Siwe.
Yeah, and I said this a little bit yesterday. I don't mind the gesture. It just seems like she's so eager that all of her gestures have a different motive to it. I definitely feel like once she gets into a relationship, she'll be a great partner. She seems like that. She seems like she's definitely very attentive, and she tries to do nice things and pay attention to what's needed. And I do think that was a nice gesture. But my concern is just the eagerness. And if I'm a guy, I'm just trying to figure out why you're so eager. Why are you so pressed? And what does that look like in an actual relationship that you're just so pressed? She seems like actually like a decent catch. I don't know why she moves so aggressively. I mean, I'm just, I don't know. It's not really my thing, but I do like the thoughtfulness of her gesture. I think that was very sweet. But unfortunately, you can't win over men like that, in my opinion. I guess the men can speak for the men. Okay, Corey's agreeing with me. Black's agreeing with me. But yeah, I think some women think that you can win over a man with that type of stuff, but a man likes to be able to be the one to do that type of stuff, not you. And so when you start having that takeover spirit, you're ruining it. I know that's not your intention, but that's what you're going to end up doing. And so, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Appreciate that.
Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get to a quiet space. It's loud in my background. Just give me about 2 minutes. Okay.
You're good, babe. Life reality.
Yeah, I think Angie's been very forward so far this season. Actually, she was very forward with the first guy that got eliminated. She put her cards on the table, told him that she's attracted to him immediately. Then we also saw a little bit of, I want to say, territorial behavior with when she saw Eddie with Coley on the steps. She was like, "That's my man," you know. What's she doing pushing up on him like that? Then yeah, she's also ready to give out the digits to Cam, take the lead there, and yeah, she's just been very forward. Now the thing is, that to me seems like she's just shooting her shot at everybody. You know, and obviously you're trying to make connections, but I don't necessarily think that's the right way to do it. She can tone it down a little bit, just state her interest in whoever she likes. Nothing wrong with that. That's what you're there for. But again, let the guy, you know, take the initiative or lead to some degree to feel like he's pursuing you. And with all of the interactions she's had so far, she seems very ready to literally lock down anyone. So that can come back to bite her as well, because as much as she is giving a chance to all the guys that she has a connection with, it may come down to, okay, but none of them specifically feel like she's focusing on them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to watch how she moves going forward. She hasn't been rejected in quite the way Coley was, but we'll see how she handles it if that does come to pass. She seems like a very bubbly person, easy to get along with. So, you know, there's still a good chance that she may end up with somebody, but her approach may just need some tweaking. Kojo creasing up over there.
Thank you. No, sorry, someone sent me a message and I was actually crying. Who hasn't spoken this? I haven't. Sean. Oh, Jay, you ready? I don't know if you're ready. I was going to Sean.
Yeah, I'm ready. I mean, Sean can go if he wants, but I'm ready.
Okay, you're ready. Go.
Okay. So I didn't really hear what everybody said. So if I repeat some of the things they said, just forgive my heart. Okay. For me, with it's Angie, right? Angie and Hussein, right? With Angie, I can't fully fault her for making her rounds. I wish she wasn't so forward in it, just like pulling out her phone every 5 seconds, like put my number in and all this stuff like that, like chill out. But you have to, in this setting, kind of make your rounds. You got to see who is who, how y'all fit. You got to talk to these people and make your connections and stuff like that. So don't totally fault her in this. However, like JR was saying, basically, you have to start to lock in though. If you've made a connection with some people, you got to kind of nurture some of those connections as you're kind of growing some new ones. You gotta make sure that those connections know that you're fully locked in. You can't just be looking from a distance screaming, "That's my man." However, you're still trying to openly get numbers in front of everybody. It's a little art to this. You gotta move. You gotta move with a little stealth, a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You can't have everybody seeing all your movement all out loud, because I think one of the guys might have said it already. They're watching. They're all watching you and stuff like that, and they're starting to make their judgments on, are you serious? Are you just here to play? Are you for everybody? So you got to kind of like maneuver discreetly a little bit. and stuff. As far as this gift giving, my biggest thing is not necessarily her giving the gift. I think it was a very thoughtful gift. I thought it was a very nice gift, especially for a person who co-parented in 2 different states. I kind of understand the pain you feel of not being with your child. I want to know her intent, though. That's what I really want to know. What was her intent behind the gift? Was it to just secure votes and just be like, you know, I don't know, be a little manipulative or anything like that? Or was it a sincere gift of a parent to a parent? You know what I'm saying? If it's a parent and I see that you're hurting because you're not with your child, and this is what I give my child because I do co-parent too, and I don't have much of a distance, but I get it. I can get that. But if you're just doing this to just gain some votes and stuff like that, like sis, don't play with people's kids like that. Don't play on that string. I don't play like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to really know what her real intent is. Do you actually like this guy? Do you want a friendship, or do you sympathize with his co-parenting lifestyle, or you just trying to get a vote out of him? What is her real intent? That's my question.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, the only thing I would add is I just think that's it's I don't think there's anything wrong with giving gifts, and maybe I don't mind because that's like one of my love languages. I do like to give gifts, but I think that was a very deeply personal gift for so early on in their dating process. You know, to speak from a father to talk about the love of their son, I just think I mean, it was well received by Hussein, so I don't want to put too much on it. He seemed like he enjoyed it. He told her he appreciated it. So maybe they've had like really some deep conversations and it connected. It just looked just slightly cringy because I'm like, do you really know him like that to really give something so deeply personal? With I'm talking more about the messaging of it. And I'm a little funny because was that thing an air tag too? Like, did it have a geolocator on it, or was it just
No,
a
it looked like
keychain?
it was a keychain, but it
Oh,
looked like it.
it was just the keychain. I heard her say something about you can track him anywhere with it. I don't know. Maybe that was just my imagination running away with me, because that I would definitely say it's a no-go. I don't want you giving me anything that, I don't know you like that, to be, that you might have access to something that tracks the kid's location. But if there's no geotag on it, I'm less bothered, by it. But yeah, I just think the messaging was deeply personal for someone you're just getting to know.
It was the sentiment, Sean, that the gift would mean that his dad would always be with him. That's what the inscription and stuff meant.
No, I understood what it meant. I just thought it was very deeply personal for someone that you're just getting to know, you know.
Good. No, can't give Sean personal gifts off the rip. Got it.
Wait, Katie got a good point. Do that baby got keys? Ain't that baby 6?
Man, that has me rolling, Katie.
That actually sent me because do the baby got keys?
I mean, maybe a house key, maybe a house key.
Why are we he a latchkey baby?
Wow.
Can the baby read? There's a couple of problems here, actually.
That baby better not be opening them doors by themselves.
The baby's 6. The baby probably can't read and ain't got no keys. So now I'm confused, actually.
No,
Dang, we went from gift.
This is why the gift too personal for Sean. Like, see, now you're out of your range now. Just read.
Well, Katie made me think. I'm like, wait, forget ain't got no keys. The baby can't read.
And I get the love language of giving gifts, but give the gift to me. Make it about me. Don't make it about my child. That's the only thing I care about. You got to know what that person who you're into, who you're pursuing, what their soft spots are. And most people with kids, their soft spot is going to be their kids. So that's why I said no go for me.
Y'all was some smart kids. I'm a whole attorney. I was not reading like that. I'm trying to figure out when I started reading. I knew very basic words at 5. Ain't 5 kindergarten?
Kindergarten, sight words. Sight words,
I knew some sight words, but I definitely don't think I was reading that whole thing on that little keychain. at 6. But maybe y'all got kids, so y'all know what the kids are doing nowadays. I'll defer, okay? I just know when I was 6, I don't know if I was reading all that.
Well, it just depends on how the parents raise the kids a lot of times and everything. Because my nephew, I don't know, I don't know, these kids, my nephew, he on the computer so daggone much and the iPad so daggone much. You think he know how to read the things he's pushing buttons to. But yeah, it just depends on how people raise their kids. Because I know some kids that was reading pretty early.
Yeah,
So
I
if he
remember.
can't read,
No, you get That's it.
if he can't read, he got a backpack. Okay, when he come to visit his dad, he can have a keychain on his little backpack zipper. Okay, we got a place for the keychain. If it's not the trash.
Okay, well, there we go. And look, Taylor said she was a accelerated reader. So maybe that baby is too. Maybe he's accelerated. Maybe he can read all that. That looked like a whole complicated little line there, but maybe.
You know, I remember there was a time, I don't know if you guys remember, that was like a commercial for speed reading at a young age where they had you put your finger across the words, you just keep reading. It was a big thing. So I don't know, maybe he got him that. I don't know.
Cause I don't know what these kids going out nowadays. I'm out the gym. All I see is these kids with these gosh darn tablets. I don't know if they can read or write anymore in 2025. I don't know what these kids is up to. So
That's what I said. All I do is buy reading books and all that stuff for my nephew and all the kids that's around me. So they better know how to read something.
I hope so.
Okay, thank you. We're gonna move it on. Let me shout out these things. April Love became a member as well. Shout out to her as well. Jacqueline also became a member as well. We appreciate y'all. Z Saza also became a member as well. Just loving the memberships, just keep growing as well. We appreciate y'all for joining us each and every week that we're on this as well. So thank you for joining. Shout out to Phil. He said, listen, no place, no car, no plan, straight dusty. And he must be talking about our brother Cisco. I can't argue there. April Love, shout out with the 5 memberships given to the people them. I want to play a clip that's going to kick this people off the panel, but you know what? We just don't care. We've got to play the clip.
Is a U.S. The new king.
Alrighty. Listen, thank you very much, April. It's always good when people are able to give. It's better to give than receive. And she actually just became a member as well, and she gave 5. Shout out to you as well. We appreciate you very much. So, love, peace, and hope. All right, let's move to the next one because
Room said get a new clip. We tired.
Oh, okay. She tied that one. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I mean, what am I going to do about it?
Play it even more.
You know what? I got a special one for When in Rome. Here we go.
Don't beg. It's disgusting.
That's what you tell them When in Rome. Don't beg. It's disgusting. All right, let's move to the next one. Shout out to When in Rome. She's always banter. She's always wanted to banter us as well. So we appreciate you, When in Rome. Always good to banter. The next aspect on the show, obviously, is this Fritz situation. Fritz with the Shanice kiss. Fritz with Sahara Desert. I need to get your thoughts on this situation with him and what your thoughts are, because Cam called him out. In fact, let's do that first. Cam called him out. Was Cam correct to call him out? All right, Fritz. Was Cam correct to call out Fritz on this occasion about that he is doing too much, or do you believe that Fritz has every right to be the way he was? I want to get your thoughts on this. Elle said you giving me straight away head tilts, head nods, head. You know, what are you telling me? What's your thoughts about this Fritz situation?
You know, before I was like, Cam was kind of introverted. I'm glad to see him come out in the men's vault/lounge where he was like, I heard you. And Fritz couldn't say it with his chest when he was called out by Cam. He couldn't be like, he was backpedaling. He was sidestepping. No. I can't convince them. I'm not trying to convince them. It's like, cut the crap. cut the crap, Fritz. But I liked how Cam came, and then Tommy had to co-sign and say, let's cut the BS, let's stop doing that. But yeah, I'm sorry. I appreciated Cam calling Fritz out. Fritz, you know, stay out the pod. Just because you don't like her, you don't need to tell everybody, hey, let's vote her out. I mean, come on now. That's ridiculous. That's some petty games, petty foolishness, and they need to get Fritz out, but Shanice may save him. But yeah, Cam was right to call him out. Fritz, just say you want poly, just not with the ladies on the show. Just say you're more than interested. That's okay. This may not be the place for you. But yeah, that's about.
I'm gonna answer your question. Yes and yes, but I'm a backseat LC on that part as far as Fritz is concerned. If you did it right there. So stand on it. Don't start backpedaling and trying to act like you didn't say what you said or whatever, and you wasn't trying to coerce the men to vote the way you want them to vote, because that's actually what you was doing. You didn't just sit there and be like, I'm gonna vote her out, or silently just say, I don't like her, I'm good, or whatever. And you don't even have to do that. If the man is not feeling her, they can say that. They don't need your help. As you like to say, they're grown men, they can make their own decisions. So shush, just sit there and be quiet. You know what I'm saying? But he has every right to voice his opinion out loud. He can do that. I'm not gonna say he can't, but did he need to? No. And he knew what he was doing. So he needed to stand on that 10 and say, I said what I said. And if these men want to do it, that's on them. But I did say what I said. But that backpedaling stuff just pissed me off with him even more. And I'm not mad at Cam at all. Fight for yours. If that's what you want your person to be there, stand up and say something, because otherwise they're not going to be there. And that just shows me that you allow other men to walk all over you. You know, I don't want them to get into no physical altercation or none of that. I don't think it would happen or anything like that. But you do have to walk delicately with masculinity when it comes into being in a room like that. You know, when one is bucking up and he got an audience and then you say something, it can go all bad. So I'm kind of glad that Fritz did kind of back down a bit, because you know, they both started bumping heads on that situation a little too much, because they was already doing a little bit of back and forth, but then Fritz started backing down when some of the other men jumped in and it was just like, bro, you did do that. So stop playing. So I'm proud of Cam for stepping up. If that's your lady, that's your lady. You better fight for her, because they're gonna vote her off if you don't.
I just feel like Fritz, who really resembles some type of cartoon character, has really never gotten any attention. He is living for the male attention, the female attention. He's living for all the attention. I'm quite happy that Cam did call him out for being unserious. I'll leave Cam's situation with Sahara aside for a second, because I don't understand that either fully. But I am happy that, you know, he kind of was very direct with Fritz, because that I can respect. And Fritz backpedaling tells you every single thing you need to know about him. You're backpedaling and gaslighting. When you get called out, you talk about you don't know what people talking about. You were politicking and scheming and plotting to get her off. So when you get called out, why are you backpedaling? He don't want it with Mr. Firefighter. Because Cam looked like a crash out for real. And the type of crash out, that silent crash out. So Fritz just need to leave him alone and go home, because he's not taking the process seriously at all.
Yeah, I think Fritz was definitely campaigning. He had his opportunity to say his piece, give his opinion. And, you know, once he said what he said, that's it. You know, all the snide comments, side remarks, all those things, they were extra, didn't need to be said. But what it revealed to me is how much disdain he has at this point. Very petty, and probably not an attractive quality to have, especially at this stage. You're not really that deep into the season yet, and you're already harboring that type of feeling towards someone. So yeah, I can see why Cam called him out. I think also Cam, you know, he may have jumped too soon, because as we saw, this is a double elimination. So it won't just be her going home. If she is selected, it'll be someone else too. And I think it's going to be very tough when they've now put Cam in a position to do the elimination if she is going home. So yeah, I don't necessarily see anything wrong with him calling out Fritz. He's trying to defend the lady that he has a connection with the most. Obviously, he didn't fight anyone else's corner so far, and he doesn't want to see his connection go home so quickly. So I don't hate on that at all. Fritz, very petty. I think the Polly comments, that Coley made about seeing what he follows on social media, that's just spread through the women's group like wildfire. And he probably won't be around too long either, because he seems to be having to clear that up every single date that he goes on. So he may just get frustrated anyway with having to repeat himself to all the ladies to try and convince them. I don't necessarily think he's doing a good job of convincing them either, which is why the questions keep coming up. So yeah, Fritz is in a bit of a problem now. He's alienated sections of the male group, and he also hasn't done himself any favors with the ladies either.
Okay, so there are a few things that took place. First things first is with Cam. The way Cam went at Fritz, I disagree that, it was a great thing. I think it revealed something in Fritz, but Cam going that hard about Sahara, one, if you're going that hard about Sahara, then you're making it, because to me, it seemed like his biggest and best connection is with Rose. So if you're going that hard for Sahara, then you need to approach her more. You need to be on her a little bit more than what you are, if you want to go that hard for her. Now, two, him calling him out did reveal some things about Fritz. Now, it's very hard for me to respect a man that's going to back away like that. Like if Fritz had fell on the sword and said, hey, yeah, I did say that. Was it wrong for me to say? Yeah, it was wrong for me to say, but yeah, I did say that. I could still respect him for that. But because he just act like nothing ever happened, no habla inglés, like he didn't speak what he was told, bro, you said what they said you said. I don't understand also why Cisco jumped into the conversation. Like, these are all men. So I think it really just depends on how men think, because in a room, if we're making a decision, I'm a self-thinking man. I don't need anyone to persuade me to vote anyone off that I don't want off or I do want off. So it wouldn't matter to me one way or another if Fritz said something at all, because I'm going to still stick to my vote. So that should have been the thought of Cam as well. He may not have liked it, but it shouldn't have been a situation where it's borderline him about to throw blows about a woman he's not even really pursuing that hard. So to me, I think that I think this was a little bit of a setup. I really do, guys. And I just think it was something that was like, hey, let's cause a little bit of drama here. Let's do a little this, a little that. I think that had something to do with it, because this was not a conversation that needed to even be had, to be honest with you. Whether Fritz said it or not, everybody in there is a grown man. They should be able to think for themselves, leave it at that. No matter how much someone says anything, if you stick to your guns, then you stick to your guns. That's it.
Can I disagree with Black for a moment?
Feel free. Pew pew.
Okay. Black, I appreciate it, but you kind of lost me with him more interested in Rose when he was the one who grabbed Sahara's hand when she walked in that mixer when he saw her. He been pursuing Sahara. Also, while he's sitting next to Rose, he more concerned about why Sahara laughing at Jay. So I'm not sure where I'm more seeing he's looking at Sahara harder than he's looking at Rose. And Rose, technically he should be over there with Sahara because Rose has her faith and her child. He's never had that. So I just think I understand what you're saying. We're all grown men in this room, but you have one of them not acting like a grown man. And one thing we know you guys always say is a man got to hold a man accountable. So Cam is like, I'm going to pull up your socks now, brother, because I'm not going to be here 2, 3, 4 more weeks with you acting a fool like this. So I appreciated Cam doing it and nipping it right then and there, because you all say you got to hold a man accountable. He said it. Say it with your chest, and I don't like it, and I'm going to say it.
Oh yeah. Now the part of him calling out Fritz doing that is what I'm saying. I agree with that piece as far as Fritz is concerned. Pretty much identifying the fact that he's the type of man that he is. Yeah, I get that part. But with Cam, for me, the only thing I saw at the mixer was him interacting with Rose. So my thing is that if you want Sahara, that's the only thing I saw. Maybe I missed something. If I did, then I missed it. It's okay. But for me, I did see him look at Sahara, have those questions. But my thought at that time was, why are you not with her? So maybe I walked out on that part. Maybe I did. You know what I'm saying? This is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. You know, if Fritz says, you know, hey, I may be wrong. I fell on the sword. I'll fall on the sword. I missed that part. But to me, it just always seemed like the date he had with Rose was nice. He kept talking about that. He does talk about he can handle Sahara. We talked about that last episode as well. But I just thought that he was kind of gravitating more towards Rose than Sahara. Now, if that's not the case, then it makes sense why he did say what he said to Fritz if he does have a strong connection with Sahara. But I just missed that part.
Can I just add also, he's just added Angie to the mix as well. You know, he's just giving the digits to her and they're going to be connecting as well. So if he really is feeling Sahara as strongly as he is, you know, he's kind of complicated things by, again, not really knuckling down or at least showing that outside of what we saw in the men's lounge, he seems to be still open to making other connections, which is part of the show. But to ride so hard for Sahara while still making connections, I think that's where I'm having the biggest difficulty in the situation.
Yeah, I saw in a comment there real quick that Cam likes Rose, but he wants Sahara. I think he wants Sahara because he said he can handle her. Every man would love to be with a woman he can handle. Not to say he wants to handle, but he needs to know that securely within himself. So I can get that too. I get it.
I see Sahara and Cam as being kind of like two sides of the same coin with their personality. She's just more loud with it, and then he would just go into himself. But the way her first elimination, they were talking and how he was, you know, able to maneuver and get her to listen to him. I'm like, Cam, I can see your inner Sahara. Let me put it that way. And we saw kind of Sahara get quiet, you know, with being more like Cam. Cam ain't technically fooling me too.
You know, the other side to that too, real quick, before I'm sorry, everybody didn't go yet. But the other side to that, real quick too, what you're saying, El Cid, is that he can do something that everybody else can't do with Sahara. That's a plus for him. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if that is just feeding into the ego side of him or he actually likes her. So that would be the actual question. Is that just stroking his ego or is that the person he actually wants at the end of the day?
Major points. Any other thoughts on this, guys, before we move on? No? All right, let's move on. I appreciate you sharing that. Okay, cool. So that was obviously Fritz and his situation. Do we feel like the two people at the bottom are the right two at the bottom? Do we feel like these two are the right two at the bottom? Because, or is it three? It was three even. Sorry, wasn't it? It was who was the other third person?
It's a double elimination. So it's Coley, Rocky, and Sahara.
Coley, Rocky, Sahara. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, my mind missed that. Do we feel that these three, I should say, are the right three at the bottom? Do we believe that these are the right three? And if so, why? That's my last question. I think we've all hit most of the major books.
Okay, I'll say I think it is looking like the right decision. Obviously, we've spoken about Coley already, and Sahara. Yeah, like I can kind of see why those two are down there for obvious reasons. I think the poetry for me was a bit too forward, sexually explicit. So I can see why Rocky's down there. We've spoken about forwardness and all that. Is it really appropriate with the level of connection she has to be delivering that type of poem? So I don't see her connecting with most of the guys there. She hasn't been in anyone's top or anything like that so far. So I'm not really entirely surprised she's down there with the other two.
Appreciate that.
I'll keep it short.
Go for it. No, go for it. You're good.
I'll keep it short real quick. Let's see. Sahara's kind of no surprise. We're struggling with some people. We're still struggling with almost half of the men, panel. Coley, she's crashing out. So it's about that time that she goes ahead and go. And then Rocky, let's be all the way honest, Rocky just really does not have a connection. The poetry or not, she don't have a connection with anybody. So yeah, it's about fair for these three to be at the bottom.
Appreciate it. Yes, I'll say.
Yeah, those are the right three. Rocky and Coley don't have any connections really. The one connection Coley had with Eddie, he don't want it no more. And Jay ain't gonna fight for her. He gonna fight for his Kiara. So yeah, they're the ones on the bottom. And I do think that Sahara, she been burning them candles. I think she's gonna be saved again. But it's very interesting. All the women wore black to the elimination. And Sahara said, "This is, she go into, she dressed like she go into a funeral."
I mean, I am kind of surprised that Eddie chucked Sahara so quickly. I know she did the most, but
Coley,
I'm sorry, Coley so quickly. I thought that I know he was annoyed with her, but I didn't think he was gonna be done with her. Guess he is. So because he is, I mean, Rocky and Coley definitely should be at the bottom. Sahara having 9 lives is crazy to me, but I think production got a little bit in that. But whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. I think that out of the three, I do think Coley and Sahara should be the ones to go, just simply because how many times are you going to vote them down and not release them of their duties? Because to me, it just makes no sense to me why Sahara's behavior is cringy. It's really, really cringy. I just want Sahara to just kind of level out a little bit more. It's not that she's a horrible person, just level out a little bit more. It's just giving ratchet to me. Even in the tangerine dress she had on, the way she walks in it, it's just not giving graceful. It's not giving the level of femininity that I would personally want. Again, not saying anything is right or wrong with it. It's just not giving that for me. So I think Sahara, and then the attitude on top of that, and the inability to take accountability for her actions and lack of actions, yeah, that's big for me. Rocky, although she doesn't have any connections, she's genuine for what I can tell, and for me that goes a long way. I think about our conversation last week. But yeah, Rocky, I mean, it will be next time for Rocky, but not right now. Coley and Sahara need to be shown the door.
Rocky with that poem she sent herself home. I'm sorry.
Yes.
That poem, that dress with no undergarments. I mean, as women, especially when you get to a particular age or almost to a particular age, you have to have your undergarments. Now my best friend always be talking to me about those. You have to have those. The smooth and undergarments for those type of dresses, very much so necessary. But yeah, other than that, the poem sent her home. When you too freaky for NAEEM, you're cooked. But she does seem like a very, very nice lady. Very genuine, and I know you respect that and you value that, and so do I. I just feel like she just ain't nobody even remotely close for her on this show. And then Sahara unfortunately can't go home because she has to spill tea on Fritz not being serious. So you already know they gonna have to keep her around because she got to tell everybody that Fritz ain't ready to love. So for that alone, you already know she gonna stay. So I mean, I would have personally liked to see Coley stay so I could see her kind of work out her disagreements with Eddie, and they actually have a conversation about her crossing the line, her being drunk. That would have been a good, valuable, entertaining conversation. But they gonna send her home before we can even get into that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
You know what? I do think that real quick, I'm sorry. I do think that Sahara is going to tell Cam about the Fritz situation in that discussion. And I think Cam will be the one to go back and tell everybody because he's already not liking Fritz anyway. So they're going to put Cam in the messy seat in the next episode when it comes to that discussion. But if not, I agree with you, C-Way. It will be so hard to go and let everybody know what's going on with him. But that's definitely going to be the topic of the conversation next episode.
Have a triple elimination as far as I'm concerned. All three of them can go.
You
All
far,
of them.
Sean. You far.
You know. So I think the right choices were made. But unfortunately, I think we're gonna be stuck with Sahara and her shenanigans. Although I did like her calling out Fritz. You know, she's gonna be the truth teller. You know, as brazen and blunt and rough and raw as she's gonna bring it. She's gonna bring the truth teller because he can go next because he ain't doing nothing but playing around here.
You know, Sahara playing around with them roots and candles and carrying on. It's very interesting because she said something in that interaction with Fritz that threw me off a little bit. She said, "Oh, we already knew. Who is we? Who is we? We already knew you were playing games." And then it flipped to the confessional where she said, "Oh, he's playing in our faces." You know, as if she didn't know. So was that a lie that she knew? She tried to play it off as she did. I'm not really sure, but that just seemed a little odd to me. I don't know if anyone else caught that, but to me,
I get it, but it's the we is Rocky, Coley, and whoever else know about this poly situation and stuff like that. These girls been talking.
okay, I ain't know if there's the camels and the incense and
Now
everything.
you scared me, Corey, for a second. I thought we was talking about her ancestors. You scared the hell out of me. I thought the we was just the women, and now you made it real spooky.
Hey, I'm just saying.
You took it to a whole nother level. You scared the hell out of me.
I was concerned.
Also, the Yerp text, the Yerp, yeah, that also is playing games, playing in her face.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yes, you want to say something?
I was gonna say no. I don't be like I told y'all before. I don't play with the crystals. Last time we talked about the crystals and the ancestors, these people came in the chat and started spamming the chat, and I ain't been right since. So let's leave the underworld alone. Whatever Sahara got going on.
Not you ain't been right since.
Y'all remember that day? That was spooky.
Don't worry, you're covered over here, my friend.
That's
you're covered.
it. And your TikTok has bloomed and blossomed since that moment. So you are prospering. Don't give life to no darkness.
Okay. I'm just saying,
this.
I don't want to bring them back. I want them to stay where they at. Well, I guess it's members only, so they ain't coming back. So never mind. I think we straight.
Hey, there could be I hear it, man. You have to protect yourself. I hear it. Listen, look, our time is up because I passed the 3 hour mark. But it's been a good conversation. You guys have really chopped it up. And I appreciate the breakdowns that happened. I know we could probably talk about a few more things that happened in that space as well. Because you didn't talk about Eddie and Diona as well. I mean, that brother gave her the body language that said he ain't interested. But hey, for another time. Sean, you can give us the benediction. I know we've got Sunday's panel. When is Lovers Blind happening? Sorry, because obviously the next episode is it a Monday?
The reunion drops
9 p.m.
tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern.
So we have to do our wedding episode panel during the day. If you can't, I don't know what to say.
Then also we're daylight savings time, so we're jumping forward an hour.
You're forward an hour. God have mercy.
They don't do that though. In
Lord,
Right.
that's too much.
Right, but just so he knows our timing is changing.
Yeah, this is changing. Okay, so that's cool. So it's 4 hours now, not 5.
Wait, so what does that mean for him? Because I'm confused now.
It's 4 hours now. So it's like if I put it at 3, it's now if like say it'll be 8 o'clock for me normally, but actually technically it'll be 7 o'clock now. So if me and Elsa go live at 3, it's actually 7 o'clock for me because she's only 4 hours behind.
I thought it went from 6 to 5, but okay. I'm confused.
That's what I said. I'm confused now. I don't know.
No, because it depends. EST is 5, so because it's 5, are we going? Wait, are we losing an hour? Or are you gaining an hour? Sorry.
We gain an hour. We're going forward.
Oh, okay, gain an hour. So no, you're right. So it'll be 6 then.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Apologies, you're right.
we get
So
more
we're right.
time. We get to sleep in.
No, just the time difference from him to us. We lose an hour, but don't confuse him.
Nah, I'm confused.
Yeah, don't.
I'll Google it.
Yeah,
I'll Google it.
I thought the
Oh,
spring
you guys
forward was
lose.
we gain an hour. Child, this time change be killing me. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're losing an hour. So yeah, so then you should be.
We lose it?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
losing.
you're
it.
losing an hour. Yeah.
Oh, an hour of sleep because there's more daytime. I'm so confused.
You, everybody, we so slow. We've been doing this our whole life.
I've never figured it out. Like
I'm always every time.
Yeah, you lose an hour in the spring and you gain it in the fall.
I don't know. I just be excited because I get more daytime. I hate all this early.
Yeah,
I heard
that
night.
is the
Let me see.
benefit. That is
Yeah.
the benefit. We have more daytime, so that's
Yeah.
the gain.
If whoever's free.
Okay, because when y'all be saying I'm losing, that's what I be thinking. I'm like, I'm losing daytime more.
No, you just lose that hour of sleep. That's all.
Oh well, y'all know I don't sleep, so there's my problem.
Exactly. You're nocturnal, so it don't matter.
Well, I'll take the sunlight. I'll lose my hour for some sunlight. Bring the sun, please.
Trust me, it's a necessity. You internalize.
Well, I got some thoughts, so I hope somebody makes something so we can talk about these weddings.
Oh, definitely. I'll do it live. We'll just be after when I finish with Elsid. You're good. It'll be all right. Elsid, go for it. No, sorry, Elsid. Sorry, Sean. You're my brain, Elsid. Sorry.
Elsid said, when I do that, when we do that?
He's like, when did I start doing it?
Go for what? What am I going for?
Elsid, your hair is beautiful, by the way. It looks fantastic.
Indeed.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm
It is
between
very
hairstyles.
nice. She's been getting compliments all through the chat. It does. It looks really, really
so
nice.
Oh, Mr. L said, better watch out.
Oh no, he's watching. He's watching.
Not Elsid sounded like Yandy. I was in the DMs the whole time. It was me.
You were flying.
He watching this chat. That's what he watching. He like, okay, I got to put a hit on you, hit on you.
Wipe your tears, sweetheart. It was me.
Don't worry. Don't worry. He's awake. He came through. If you saw, he came through one time.
Oh, okay. Shout out to Mr. Elsid. We appreciate him. Can't lie to you. Sean, give us a benediction, and I'm sure we'll chat behind the scenes.
You got it. It's gonna be short and sweet. First, starting out with our advice for our good brother Francisco. Transparency is key, but also having a plan is key. And the plan should start with you in a relationship. Have your stuff together, have your situations in order. And especially as a man, you need to be stable. And if you're not, you need to manage the first relationship and the most important one, and that's the one with yourself before you start entering into a relationship with anybody else. Center yourself, get yourself together before you look to combine with someone else. Also, you want to, gifts are great. We love gifts, but they should be adequately timed and paced in the nature of the relationship. You don't want to be overzealous, and you also don't want to be overzealous in your romantic and physical attempts. So, listen, if you make a move, you want it to be calculated and you want it to be at the right time. So don't be throwing kisses on nobody that's not yours to be kissing just yet. And especially don't do it in public. And if you do take the risk and you get rejected, don't throw a tantrum. Adult temper tantrums are not a thing. We should not be handling rejection by stomping our feet or storming off. Handle it with grace and learn the lessons. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. We appreciate that. Listen, audience, has been amazing. It's been wonderful. Before we go anywhere, let me just shout out. Obviously, we're going to have a super chat before we go. Tina 1 million, shout out to you. Says your thumbnail always spoils me on who got eliminated. When I watched the episode a couple of days late, but shout out to y'all. I'll be back to watch later. No worries at all, Tina. Do you know what the issue is? You're late. And you put that yourself. So you actually confess of your own sins. That's got nothing to do with me. I'm not taking the responsibility for you being late. Okay. I appreciate it, Tina. Okay. No, I'm playing. Listen, I actually hear it. Technically, they didn't get evicted this time. So, but I definitely hear what you're saying. I won't change, but I definitely hear what you're saying. But I appreciate you, Tina. All right, listen. So, audience members, we appreciate you. Thank you very much for coming through. Loving it. The community of memberships is growing each and every day as well. It's good to have fun as well amongst us as a family and amongst the membership people them as well. We are back tomorrow. I think because obviously myself and El Sida are going to be on tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST. Which is obviously going to be slightly different for myself. It'll be 7 o'clock for my time, UK time. But we'll be back on with Man at First Sight, Australia, on Sunday with myself and El Cid. So make sure you tune into that as well. Because listen, this week's episode was crazy, bro. So crazy. I cannot wait to chop it up this Sunday to talk about it as well. And I'm sure there's one more episode tonight, so we'll definitely have to chop into that. And then Sunday we'll have Love Is Blind. I think I'll have it probably around about 7 o'clock EST. So we'll only be out for 2 hours max, because I think 9 p.m. EST is when Love Is Blind drops as well. So we'll do the 2 hours, and it shouldn't be that long anyway, because the weddings were what was going on. So we'll do a 2-hour show, get ourselves ready for 9 p.m. EST, and I'll see. Maybe I'll do a live watch along the reunion as well. But okay, we're gonna love you. We're gonna leave you, and I appreciate y'all as well. You know, I want you to remember something, guys. Okay. It's now my new clip I'm using.
Don't beg. It's disgusting.
Anytime you think about begging someone, just remember yourself. You can't do it. It's disgusting. Little black, you know what time it is.